Hey, what's up? Welcome to Movie Dumpster Season 4, Episode 20. Smoke 'em if you got 'em, because we're talking about Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers from 1995, directed by Joe Chappelle. I'm Joe Lascola.
I'm Sean. He's pure evil! O'Rourke.
I'm Connor. Halloween 6 Shots, The Curse of Dr. Loomis McGraw.
Welcome to the dumpster.
Damn. Isn't that a little chancy? I mean, this is Halloween, the night when all the creepy things are supposed to stalk the earth.
It deals with demons, demon resurrection, and those forces which roam the forest and dark bowers of man's domain. The first few pages warn that these enduring creatures may lie dormant, but are never truly dead.
It's Halloween, gentlemen. Halloween, have you forgotten?
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
You know, it's Halloween. I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare.
Trick or treat.
You get it, because he shoots him 6 times, but this time he didn't, so maybe that's what happened.
We are going to get to the 6th time shit in this fucking movie and for this series. But yeah, welcome, boils and ghouls, to our our first episode for Trick or Trash. Yeah, the spooky season is here, and we're jumping right into it with Halloween, and we're talking about, you know, most of the series, probably all of the series a little bit, and of course the notorious 6th installment of this franchise.
Oh, it's notorious, all right.
Yum.
Yeah, we're gonna go into the fucking Halloween verse.
Oh, we're into the Myers verse, dude.
Yeah, it's I'm sorry, like. The new Halloween is great, and the new one looks great, and there's some good movies in this franchise, but what a fucking disaster this whole franchise is overall.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's a fucking mess.
We were talking before, I mean, we'll get into it. We were talking before this, though, but we were talking about Hellraiser, and, like, this might be a little bit better than the Hellraiser series, but not by much.
Yeah. Let's save that conversation, because I kind of want to get the preamble out of the way, because that's something I really want to dig into.
Sure.
Yeah, I wanted to both thank and lament a 5-star review that we got, because it was so just pleasantly worded. It was some of the nicest things anyone's ever said to me about it.
From Harrison Pudding,
a.k.a. one of our patrons, Mick.
Yeah, sent us a 5-star review, and he called us a project of perseverance and passion, and that, like, just makes my heart sing.
Yeah.
But he also made it a point to say, like, we
splooge humor
and splooge knowledge, and I couldn't help but think about the fact that, like, my comedic legacy currently is devoted to so much cum that it makes me just, like, I just shake my head a little bit, like.
Connor, I'm your legacy now.
Yeah, like I'm like it couldn't even be regular Goldar. It had to be him, but made out of jizz. Like,
if I was on the street and somebody recognized me and was like Cumdar, and I would do the voice and everything. That's when you know you made it.
It's very true, but, like, I just can't help but think about it. It's like what I've contributed to the world is a monolith of man butter. Like, it's just.
Oh, man. I'm kind of okay with that, though, honestly. Like, if my gravestone just has, like, a picture of him on there and is just constantly dripping, like it's almost like a living statue, which is actually kind of a cool idea. Right? Somebody write that down.
Somebody gets you, like, several just waxed headstones, like, it just melt them every day.
Oh, God, yeah.
Is that like our new tagline? Like, Movie Dumpster, not just cum jokes.
I mean, if it wouldn't immediately get us kicked off of YouTube, I'd put it on a t-shirt, I'm not even gonna lie. Fuck it. What am I doing? I don't think they... Somebody that knows this stuff. Do they recognize that 3-letter word, or are we okay with that? Like, is that something that they're like, huh?
When Jesse from Say You Love Satan came on, dude, we put that fucking episode on YouTube, and they, like, blocked our monetization because we had Satan in the title. I had to change it to Satan, the vegetarian tofu shit. Seitan.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it was a big headache.
Wow.
But yeah, I'm with you, Connor. Being known for cum jokes. Again, you would think, and hopefully I'm not putting words in your mouth, Connor, but you would be, like, remembered for some, like, Reverse Flash related thing or something to that effect.
This is also true.
Yeah, and here's the thing. It's funny you mentioned the gravestone thing, because now, long after I can help it, my headstone will read Monolith of Man Butter, and there's nothing I can do about it.
and then the Reverse Flash would be there laughing at it.
And like, and some adult film star will walk by my headstone and go, "The fuck?" Like,
At least it's not just a couple of rocks stacked up like snails in fucking Dungeons and Dragons.
yeah, like snails or like William Kirk James T. Kirk from Star Trek Generations.
Connor, this is the MDU. Nobody's truly dead ever.
Not only are they not truly dead, but they're also all buried in the same graveyard, which we haven't mentioned in a while, but if you go back and listen to those old episodes, the MDU cemetery is full of many characters in the history of movies.
Directly next to Connor's grave, somebody's pissing on Lionel's mother's grave.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just one big nexus area.
Yeah, but before we get into thank you so much, Harrison Pudding, and thank you everybody that's left us a very nice review.
Some of you have moved me to tears, I gotta be honest. Like, some of you are so nice.
Absolutely. You know, we take a lot of pride in doing this show, and we really love what we do, and it's a lot of work, but it's fun, and I'm glad you guys, gals, everything in between appreciate it. But speaking of 5-star reviews, if you head over to iTunes, specifically iTunes, Apple Podcasts. Yeah, it's not even iTunes anymore. Apple Podcasts. Go over there.
Yeah, it hasn't been iTunes for many years, Joe, just for your information.
Yeah, I know. I'm living in the Stone Age.
I still use Winamp. It's fine.
You know what's funny about that? I have an old version of iTunes that like lets me read stats that you can't read anymore, so that's why I saved that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, head over to Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcast. Leave us that 5-star review. If you're digging the show, come on. Leave us that message. Drop a line. Be like, wow, I listen to this all the time, and I've never interacted with you guys ever, but I love it so much. Thank you.
Yeah, and we always shout you guys out. Like, I don't know if that's like a little extra incentive on Instagram and Facebook and everything.
Yeah.
You'll be witnessed.
Yeah, exactly.
We love to hear from you. But yeah, you can go over to that Patreon too and support us if you'd like financially. Go sign up for that $2 or $5 or $10 tier. If you do the 5 or 10, you get some movie dumpster swag we'll send to you. And $5 and $10 tiers get you commentary tracks and watch-alongs, live watch-alongs, by the way, that you can interact with us and hang out, have a couple beers, watch some movies. And you can also get replays of those watch-alongs on there as well in the archive.
Yeah, and we have a very special watch-along coming at the end of this month.
Yeah. We have our spooktacular watch-along, yeah, for our Trick or Trash month, yeah.
And head over to patreon.com/moviedumpster. As of this recording, we recently put out our first mailbag video, which we're lovingly calling junk mail. So, send us that junk mail.
And yeah, on that $2 tier, now you can get minisodes and that mailbag video. So definitely, or mailbag videos going forward. And send us all your good junk. Send us some Purple Urkel, why don't you?
Oh my God. Yeah, if you watch that junk mail video, you'll get that reference. But if you didn't, still wink, wink, nod, nod. We're in Pennsylvania. What's that address again, Joe?
Oh, it's you're gonna send all your junk to Movie Dumpster, P.O. Box 918, Bangor, PA, Bangor, Pennsylvania 18013.
And I guess they can just kind of open the side of the airplane shuttle when they're over Vegas, and they can just like drop it over your house, Connor, and you just put your fucking hand out for it.
Yep. Send me a stork.
Yeah, exactly. The weed stork.
You could stuff it inside like a teddy bear or some shit, wrap it up with some Vaseline.
Good Lord, they got, speaking of storks, if this was like an actual thing, like, they probably have drones, fucking green or purple drones, or like an Urkel drone comes in, like the Urkel bot, and it says like one-liners.
Dude, the Urkel bot flies to your house and drops it off. It's like fucking Iron Man.
No. You guys got it all wrong. It would be Cumdar. He would walk up to my fucking front step, leave all his gross footprints.
Oh, no.
Oh, God. He'd ruin the weed. He gets it all over the fucking buds.
What is he, like some kind of wet Santa Claus?
He's like, I am your personal Topa. And then he just flies away.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. You're not always going to get the same delivery driver. I'll take the goddamn Urkel bot any day over that.
That's the thing, right? You put your used, like, cum rags underneath your pillow at night. Cumdar comes and leaves you some purple Urkel.
Oh, yeah, and he just he just pulls out of his chest too. He's like, here you go.
This is a particularly gooey one. Thank you.
I don't like you either. He just flies away.
And don't forget to listen throughout this entire episode for that special Halloween code word, the Trick or Trash code word.
Oh, boy.
So you can enter that giveaway because it's going to be fucking good. I'm sure we posted it already. There's a lot of good stuff in there.
And I finally get that reference, thanks to this episode.
But without further ado, why don't we talk some Halloween, fellas? What do you say?
You mean without further ado?
A boo. So Halloween, guys, the John Carpenter classic.
Yeah, one of my favorite movies.
It's pretty great.
I do love the first one, but like I alluded to in the beginning, like this fucking franchise is just a fucking mess.
It's a mess.
It's comparable to Hellraiser, man. Like I was saying that to Joe before you got on the call.
Here's the one thing Hellraiser has over Halloween. There is only one continuity in Hellraiser.
This is true.
It's all bad, but if you were to watch like anything after a certain point, it's just fucking wretched and unwatchable.
But at least it's consistent.
But it's supposedly consistent in the same franchise and the same, quote unquote timeline. But in this franchise, we have 4 versions of Michael Myers.
No, it's the same Michael Myers. Here's the thing.
Well, no, I mean when I say 4 versions, I mean 3 interpretations of Michael Myers, because you have the John Carpenter 1 and 2, and then I guess 4, 5, and 6.
Michael Myers from 2 is very different from Michael Myers in 1.
Yeah. And and then you can throw H2O and Resurrections in there, sure.
Right, and those are branch timelines. Before we get into the nitty gritty with all that shit and how these fucking things go off the rails, I just want to make the point that like Halloween is undoubtedly a horror masterpiece. Okay.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That being said, we all know it. Head over to the what is that season 1 of Trashing Through the Snow for Black Christmas, or is that season 2?
Oh yeah.
It was either season 1 or 2. Go check out that Black Christmas episode we did, because we talk about Bob Clark and his relationship with John Carpenter and Black Christmas and the kind of lineage that had happened between them and Halloween itself, and how Halloween is a direct product of Black Christmas and the slasher genre and what have you, and all that kind of good stuff. Also, Jeff Lieberman weighed in on that on his from Trick or Trash from what? That was season 3, Trick or Trash.
Oh yeah, Satan's Little Helper.
Satan's Little Helper. Go listen to that Jeff Lieberman interview, because he shed some light on the Babysitter Murders and how he almost got to direct it instead of John Carpenter. So there's some rich history with the first film. But that being said, I mean, all in all, and it should have stopped at that movie. That was it, right?
Yeah.
John Carpenter made that film with the intent to be like, this is Halloween, this is Michael Myers, he's this pure evil, and let's keep it a mystery, and he's gone at the end, and that's it. It's spooky, and it's great, and that's it. He was forced, more or less, to write the second film.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can live with it or without it. I do like it, and I don't like the idea of being like, it's just cut it out from existence. But I like, it's weird, I agree and disagree, because Halloween by itself is like, I don't know, in a vacuum, it's like, oh, this is perfect for what it is. It's fine. It's great. It does everything right.
Yeah.
And then, like, the second one is like, it's more of it. But then he fucking blows up.
Well, that's the thing. Like, again, back to Black Christmas. Like, Black Christmas is nearly a perfect horror film, in my opinion.
I mean, when you compare it to Black Christmas, like, I can't imagine a sequel to Black Christmas that would, like, undo the general sense of discomfort you get from the first movie, because I think the first movie's ending is like, okay, so like it's a similar premise, like the killer gets away, but in Black Christmas, like, you're left with like, he didn't just get away, he's in the house still, and he's like above everybody, and like they end on the first victim they never found, and it's like, good fucking god, that's ghoulish and horrifying. And I can't imagine if like somebody picked up a sequel and was like, the first shot is like that guy jumps down the fucking ceiling and they just blow him away with a shotgun, and then it's like a second kill or something dumb like that.
Yeah, no, but I guess that's what I'm saying, right? Like, it's its own thing, it's isolated, and it's a great flick, and it doesn't need a sequel. And I don't think Halloween needed a sequel. And again, Mustafa Akkad or whomever was like, John Carpenter, we're going to do a sequel, and he didn't want to write it, but I guess they paid him a lot of money. I don't really know the fucking story on that, so don't hold me to that. But anyway, I know that he wrote it in a fucking alcoholic haze, and he wrote the second movie specifically to be like, okay, this is the end of the story now. I'm going to kill Michael Myers and Dr. Loomis in a fucking inferno that blows up.
I'm gonna blow his ass up.
Yeah, Michael Myers even at the end of that movie, not to just skip over the whole thing, but he literally, he blows up from Loomis, and then they at least, like, make him keep coming at her for, like, another, like, he chases after her, and then she falls over just to really show, okay, he's a tough son of a bitch, but he's still dead.
Yeah, but he's burned alive. He's dead. They're dead. They're D-E motherfucking D dead. That's it.
Yeah.
So in Halloween 3, everybody for a long time, did not like that movie. At least general audiences did not like that movie because there's no Michael Myers, which I think is dumb. Because the whole idea that fucking John Carpenter wanted to do was make Halloween a series of films where each film is a different story that takes place on Halloween. Right? So Halloween 3 is this kind of weird enigma in the series because they were trying to do something different. Tommy Lee Wallace directs Halloween 3, and it's a great fucking film. Like, it's a good horror movie.
I have no strong feelings on it, oddly enough. And it's not even because, like, it doesn't have Michael Myers. I think conceptually, I'm like, it's a little bonkers. And so I just kind of like, but it's in a way where I'm like, I don't really care for this. But not in a way that I think it's good or bad. I'm just like, it just doesn't elicit any kind of reaction out of me.
I think it's a really good, fun flick, and I like the ideas in it. Tom Atkins is great. I love the idea with the Halloween masks and it, like, the magic and shit. It's fucking weird, and I'm into it.
I did love that, like, it's got druid shit in it, and then this fucking series, like, just falls face first into druids.
We're gonna get to it.
And, I liked it. I didn't think it was, like, the best movie ever, but I thought it was really good. I think, like Joe said, people just kind of slept on it because, again, it wasn't Michael Myers, and then, unfortunately, because of that, you get the rest of the series, for better or worse. But, yeah, Halloween 3, the ending is just fucking iconic. The way that it cuts off at the end there is just like, whoa.
Oh, it's great. And, people don't like it because there was no Michael Myers in it. And still to this day, I know people that don't like it because there's no Michael Myers in it.
My wife said the same thing.
With 3, there's been this big resurgence of it. Like, people have come out of the woodwork like, 3's my favorite Halloween. And it's all over fucking everything. People with the witch, the witch mask and the skull mask and the pumpkin mask, and that's great and shit like that. But, like, it's your favorite Halloween? I don't know about that. Maybe for some people.
Not to, this is actually getting too far ahead, but I think what happens after Halloween 3 makes people go back and say, wow, this isn't that bad.
Yeah, well, and some people are, it's like that weird ideology of, like, you're just so steadfast in your opinion that you won't go back on it, and people are like, 4 and 5 are great, man, fuck you, and it's like, I don't know, dude, are you sure?
Here's the thing, I know some of you personally, and I don't believe you, okay? I don't believe that you actually think that, because we've just sat through them, all right? And they're turds.
Well, here's the thing. We're gonna get into 4, but
before we talk about 4 and 5, I just want to preface this with the fact that, like, if you like Halloween 4 and 5, you're not wrong. We're not saying you're wrong, and we don't hate you, but we are a little confused.
That's exactly. I can't ever find a way to meet you in the middle of the room on that one, because I would just go like, why? Like,
here's the thing with 4, 5, and 6 that is, like, really frustrating just as a whole, is that you need to watch them sequentially because there's stuff in each one you kind of need to know to get the next one, but also they disregard so much of it that, do you really?
Yeah, that's a thing too. Like, okay.
Especially Dr. fucking Loomis. Oh my God.
Yeah. I don't want to get too deep into Halloween 4 because if you head over to My Spooky Gay Family with our good friend Pissy Miles and Sam Baxter. Pissy Miles was on our Ernest Scared Stupid episode last year. I had the extreme pleasure of guesting on their Halloween 4 episode where you can get my entire thoughts. So go over there, check them out, listen to them. And if you listen to my episode, you better go listen to the rest of their show because it's fantastic. Go check them out, My Spooky Gay Family. What I will say about 4... the main points that I do not like about it is, A, it was fucking made just on the fact that people were pissed off about 3 and Michael Myers wasn't in it, so they just ditched the whole idea of making individual Halloween movies. And B, he looks like shit. And the story is dumb.
He looks worse. Every movie, it's like, wow, this is the worst Michael Myers, and then the next one somehow tops it.
I think 4 is the 4. Okay, 4. He looks like something you'd find in a Sunday comic. Like, he looks fucking bad and stupid,
dude. He literally grabs it off the fucking, like, Party City shelf, like, behind Jamie in a scene.
And it looks like it's been exposed to, like, a high-power fan or something because all the features are flattened. The hair is slicked straight back.
Yeah.
And, like, it looks like it's made of, like, really, like, a thin material. With the first one, the visible textures on it, like, gave you kind of a sense of tangibility to it. We were like, that looks coarse and gross, and the breathing makes me think it's so fucking hot and stuffy in there, and this thing looks like it's something you wear to a fucking party.
It was a simple mask for the first one, and sometimes
It's a mask you could have gotten anywhere.
it's Captain Kirk's mask. But the fact of the matter is, I mean, everybody knows this is Captain Kirk, but the fact of the matter is, why can't he have the same mask from a Halloween store? I'm sure they're still selling it 3 years later. There's a if I go down to Ruby's or Spirit Halloween or some shit, I'm sure I can find a fucking mask that they were still making 5 years ago.
Speaking of, I went down there recently to get some pieces for my costume. And yeah, they have them from all the different movies. They got number 1, 2, they got like Resurrection and the new one. And it's like, sometimes they have like the faux hair.
Yeah.
And other ones, they just have fucking plastic. It's like, what is even the point? Save $2?
Yeah. Well, I bring that up because in 4, the Michael Myers mask is available for, just like the Scream mask, like it's available in that universe for people to buy all the time.
And he grabs a Dollar General version of it.
Oh yeah.
You know what 4 and 5 gave us that is it's irrefutable as a great thing? Danielle Harris. That's it.
Question mark.
I think she's better in 5 before she kind of sucks.
No, I'm saying but she shows up like every time I see her show to a horror film, I'm like, oh, Danielle Harris is here, and she always does a good job.
Yeah, but also on that note, I still think it was kind of like really stupid that in the Rob Zombie one, they're like, let's get a topless scene with her. Like, I don't know the history behind that. Maybe that's something she really wanted to do, but I just always thought that was really tactless.
Well,
I'm gonna address those movies when we get to it, and I'm not gonna be fucking nice, so
yeah, so let's keep going. Yeah, but as far as Danielle Harris goes in 4 and 5, I think for a child actor, she's amazing. In towards the end of 4 and definitely 5, especially when she's having like the seizures and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and she's screaming. She has no voice, so she's waking up screaming in silence. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like she's really excellent as far as that goes.
The thing that pisses me off about 5 right off the bat is they don't go with the fucking twist ending. From 4, they just totally disregard it.
Oh, they Friday 5 themselves.
Yeah. For a series that wants to be, I don't know, I guess Friday the 13th, like,
oh my god, I couldn't believe that.
Like part 4 doesn't know what it wants to be. Like, is it a Friday movie? Is it a Halloween movie? Is what is happening? And it never really does anything that it wants to do, I don't think, in my opinion.
Well, this was like my first viewings of 3, 4, 5, and 6, actually. So I was thinking that the whole time. I was looking at the release dates of this series and the Friday the 13th series, and I was like, fucking Michael Myers is just a Jason ripoff. Like, how did I not know this until 2021?
Yeah, and I mean, even though Jason is a gimmick as well, they do it better in those movies. Like,
oh yeah,
Jason's whole aesthetic lends itself better to like mindless sequels because like he's a giant zombie who's like falling apart progressively as the movies go on. He just looks cooler and acts cooler, and like he starts off as normal and then he becomes a fucking superhuman by the middle of the series. Like, it's just and Myers stays the same.
Well, and that's the thing.
They lean into it, right? Is the thing.
In 4, he takes a lot of damage, but he
falls down a fucking well, dude.
Well, hold on. He gets hit by a car, falls down a well after getting shot like 20 fucking times.
Way more than 6, dude.
As he's falling down, he hears this. Just Woody Harrelson talking in the background.
Listen, Michael Myers fell down the well.
No way. Oh, how you doing? There you go.
Oh my God.
Michael just fell right into the Myers verse, and here we go. You ready for this? Michael Arachnus.
I'm about to make my big screen debut in about 2 weeks. You ready for that?
Let there be Myers. You know what I'm saying?
It'll actually be out by the time this episode airs.
Yeah.
Let there be bartender.
Let there be Halloweens.
But that's how 4 ends, and then they do this, cinema fucking sin where they re-show the best part of the last movie, the very end, and, they re-show him getting shot 20 times into this hole, but they have an added detail that Jamie touches his wrist while he's on the ground, and you see this fucking Cult of Thorn symbol, and then when he's at the bottom of the hole, they throw in dynamite to blow him up, but he conveniently, crawls away and, goes down a fucking, river and is, riding along song while this huge explosion goes off in the background like Acme Chemicals.
It's the same. It's the same inlet that he used to get into the ocean that Crystal Lake uses.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly. Look. The big thing you're missing from part 4 is that the killer was Michael Myers was supposed to be fucking dead again. They tried to end it again and pass it on, just like part 5. They tried to pass it on to another character where now Jamie Lloyd is now going to be the new Michael Myers, right? Or the pure evil Myers, whatever, because she's part of the bloodline. But the cult shit didn't come in till part 5.
Yeah, and then part 5 has the ending where she's had the scissors, right?
Yeah, but and she stabs her mother, but like that is a good ending.
Right. But the thing is, in part 4, they do show her, Jamie, the little girl, his niece or whatever the fuck it is that he's trying to kill.
Yeah.
She does go up to him and touch his hand in 4, but in 5, they add like an additional shot of the stupid tattoo on the wrist.
Oh, yeah, but what I guess my point is it's a lot more up in the air in part 4 where it's like, well, she's his blood and maybe she's just pure evil, like it skips a generation or some shit.
Right.
Which I'm kind of into. However, I am also into the cult stuff, but they should have just came out of the gate with that shit, right?
Well, okay, so school us a little on this alternate opening.
I don't know if 5 has a different opening. I think 4 might have a different opening that just was discovered.
Okay, I'll talk about it then.
Well, Michael Flesher just he does a lot of the special features and stuff and extras for Shout Factory, and the Vestron Blu-ray label, but he, I believe, just unearthed a alternate opening for part 4 that he's putting together because it was never finished. So I'm curious to see what that is.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but part 5 is, first of all, I want to say that the mask looks better than 4, but it's not great. And 5, I think, is just the better movie in general because 4 is, again, it wants to be a Halloween movie, but it also wants to be a Friday the 13th slasher, and it doesn't really do either of those successfully.
It's too fucking tame.
Yeah, that's the thing. And then 5 is kind of like, all right, well, let's go full slasher or whatever. And I think it's a little bit better because Loomis is more unhinged, Michael's a little bit more aggressive, and...
Oh, Loomis is back, you say? Didn't he die in 4?
Oh,
well, okay, so we got 2 deaths of Michael Myers so far and 1 death of Loomis.
Yeah, he didn't die in 4.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He was supposed to die at the end of 4, so that's what I'm saying. He's supposed to die at the end of 2, so that's 1. He's supposed to die at the end of 4, that's 2. Loomis blew himself up.
No. Hold on. He's not supposed to die at the end of 4. He's supposed to die at the end of 5.
Right, but what I'm saying is at the end of 4, Loomis straight up says he's dead.
Dr. Loomis is not dead in part 4.
I'm talking about Michael Myers.
Yeah, I know, but we're talking about Loomis, right, Connor?
Yeah, no, I honestly, between 4 and 5, because I watched them last week, I couldn't remember which one that has him get eviscerated on a staircase and then tossed to his death.
He gets thrown out a fucking window in part 4, but he doesn't die.
Okay, which one has him get stabbed in the... Did he get stabbed?
No. He has a heart attack.
Yeah, in part 5, he's like beating Michael to death at the end with like a 2x4 and then has a heart attack on top of him.
Right. So that's his second death.
That's right, yeah.
But the opening of 5, you have this hermit.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're ever going to cover this one, so I'll just talk about it real quick.
Sure.
And there's an alternate opening that I think they actually did shoot it, where there's like a fucking occultist finds him, and I guess, I don't know if he's supposed to be dead or unconscious, and he gets resurrected with some like devil shit.
Oh, really? See, I'm into that, and we'll get to it when we get to part 6, but like I'm into that kind of stuff.
Instead, like I do kind of like this angle, even though like the math doesn't really work out, where then Michael Myers is just like in this guy's fucking hut, like doesn't shit, piss, or anything to himself or eat or anything. He's just laying there for a year, and then he kills the guy.
Maybe he's got like a wooden colostomy bag or something that's like
carved it for him.
Fucking just dripping down the side of this bed.
This guy's just walking up to his guts and being like, all right, gotta express the bladder.
Here you go, poop in my hand there, Mikey.
I know it's kind of cliche, but I did appreciate that because it was like the one thing that made me think of like old like monster movies where there's always some like old bastard who like helps out the creature and then they get killed immediately when they're better.
Sure. Yeah, but he's been, sleeping for like a year?
That's it. It's just stupid.
With the mask on?
Yeah.
Funky Myers, dude.
Oh, you must smell like old feet wrapped in burnt bacon.
And then, like, Loomis, like, again, like, he's trying to catch Michael, but, like, fucking Jamie all of a sudden has, like, a psychic connection with Godzilla, like that... Godzilla. She has a psychic connection with Michael Myers, like the little boy in Godzilla versus the Smog Monster. That's where I was going with that.
Which is kind of like inferred in 4. And this, they go full ham on it, and she's literally like seeing him kill people and stuff, which is
It's like Voldemort.
Man, they really are ripping off Friday at this point because because the psychic stuff was kind of always there, and then like they lean into it in 7.
It's kind of fine with me. It's just again, I feel like 5 should have been 4.
Yeah.
And then I feel like 6 should have been 4 and 5 and 6 combined into one movie, and then I think it would have just been better.
But the thing with 5, it ends basically like throughout the movie. You keep seeing like this guy. You never see his face.
You keep seeing Creighton Duke from the back.
Yeah, you see the black suit and the black, snakeskin boots, but that's it. And then at the end, where they catch Michael Myers, okay, real quick, there's this one scene where he's breaking into the Myers house and Loomis is there with like the one cop who stays behind. And this cop's got a fucking shotgun, by the closet behind him. Michael Myers starts breaking through this fucking door like Jack Nicholson in The Shining. This motherfucker just wildly fires his pistol, hits him like maybe twice. Instead of grabbing the shotgun, again, I know the movie would just end and that's the end of the series, but instead of grabbing the shotgun and just pointing it at Michael Myers' fucking head and pulling the trigger.
That's always been the problem, too, with these movies, is like, they always have a gun and they just goof it up. There
are so many police officers in the Halloween series. Like, I know they have like sheriffs and shit in Friday, but it is like unbelievable how many cops he kills in these fucking 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah. So yeah, that's 5, and then we're gonna talk about 6 in a second. But then H2O just fucking scraps everything except 1 and 2, and then we have like the Laurie Strode trilogy, the first one.
Oh, so then we do have 4 interpretations of Myers, because then like 4, 5, and 6 are their own thing, and then I guess
yes.
Oh wow, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, 4, 5, and 6 is its own timeline.
Oh my God.
And then it goes 1, 2, H2O.
Yeah, and then Resurrections after that, I guess.
And then Resurrection, that caps that off, which isn't great, but it's probably more fun than 4 and 5, in my opinion.
Busta Rhymes roundhouse kicks Michael Myers in the face. What are you talking about?
I mean, trick or treat, motherfucker. Like we're going full goofy at that point, and I'm like, yeah, this is entertaining.
Yeah.
But then we do the Rob Zombie remakes, which I fucking hate. I just don't like them.
I know details of the second one, but I've never actually seen it, and I saw the first one in theaters with Joe, and I didn't hate the first like 45 minutes, but the rest I was like, this was like basically shot for shot until they get into the Myers house.
I don't need my mom's a hooker and my dad's a drunk and all that shit. I just don't need it.
I get that, but like I also think it's fluff, but it's done well. Here's my thing with those movies though. I get that Rob Zombie is trying to be a very specific kind of filmmaker.
Yeah.
However, he is not consistently good at it, and I'm saying that from what I think is a very, I wouldn't say objective, but like a truthful standpoint, because the consensus among, people who watch movies is Devil's Rejects is his best film, and it is. I totally agree.
I would agree too.
However, I think his style is way too abhorrent and mean-spirited and just gross and unnecessary half the time. It's horrorcore, or like
it's like horror hillbilly redneck filthy disgusting.
It's horror sleaze. It's like horror hillbilly sleaze. And like, I'm sorry, I don't need, as much as I love Richard Brake and I watch him do fucking anything from being shot in Star Wars to being shot in Batman Begins because he shot the Waynes. But like, I don't need Richard Brake going on a 4-minute necrophilia rant in Halloween 2. I don't need Danielle Harris to be violently throttled
while she's naked.
I don't need Hobo Myers. I don't need any of the mean-spirited bullshit. And I don't need any of Halloween 2 ever again, because I hate that movie with every cell in my fucking body. I think that movie is a mean, gross, unwatchable, poorly lit, poorly directed sack of shit. I hate that movie.
Yeah, man, and to your point, like, that's not the refreshing take that Halloween needed if you were going to remake it, right?
No, and I know I've been trying to be nicer to things, but like, I can't put aside like an intense amount of vitriol I have for that movie. I think it's gross.
That's okay, and I agree with you. And by the way, I think H2O is a good movie.
I like H2O.
I think it's a good Halloween movie. I think there are mistakes in that movie big time, but for the most part, it's a lot of fun. And like as far as a Halloween movie goes.
But like also, I agree with Sean. I think the first 45 minutes of the first Halloween movie are pretty good.
It's at least a different interpretation where it's like, yeah, he's always been a nut, but at least in the original series, it was like, oh, he just snapped one day.
Yeah, but that's what I like about it is that he's pure evil.
I agree, but I also do appreciate that at least like on some level he was like, all right, well, let's look at this from a different angle.
But it's such a generic serial killer angle.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is true.
Well, yeah, and his challenge was to like let's give the monster a face, and like from on one point, yeah, I don't really think that we need it, but the second point, like I think it's done well. I think Sherry Moon Zombie is like doing a really good job. I also think that whoever's that fucking kid they got to play young Michael,
Dig Fairch,
he is the scariest child I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, he's pretty creepy.
He kills Junie from Spy Kids. He kills him.
Yeah, God. He's so creepy. And I think Tyler Mane is an inspired choice for Michael Myers.
Sure, but he's like a brick shit. He's like a fucking Jason Voorhees.
Who is letting this guy work out in the nut house? Like, who's handing this guy fucking weights?
Well, yeah, but even Kane Hodder is a giant man. Like, I just don't see Michael Myers as that. What makes Michael Myers scary is that he's just a regular fucking guy. Like, that's, I mean, more or less.
I think the implication in Zombies Halloween is like, even genetically, like that's just how he is. He's a fucking giant monster.
I don't like it.
Loomis in those fucking movies, holy shit. Loomis in 2 becomes a smarmy, cocky, arrogant writer who's kind of just trying to pimp out his book.
He's like Gale Weathers in that fucking movie, dude.
Well, he dies at the end of 1 also. That was what I wanted to bring up because he dies so many times in the first series, and then in the end of 1, he gets his fucking eyes pushed into his head, and I was like under the impression that he was dead, and then I read years later what you're describing.
Yeah, and then so I guess in one of the alternate endings, Loomis kind of like collapses and kind of like breaks down and kind of sheds this entire like this gimmick he's had, and he's like, I failed you, I failed everybody, blah blah blah. And then instead of Myers having any remorse for him, he grabs him by the face and just yells die, and then stabs him over and over again.
Donald Pleasance is my Dr. Loomis, the one and only.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, McDowell is great, but yeah, Loomis is Donald Pleasance.
Well, he's just a great actor. He you know, not to take anything away from him, but he is great in everything.
McDowell will chew up anything you give him, so.
McDowell's fantastic. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, no matter what he's doing. But yeah, Halloween 2018 erases everything except the first movie.
They love doing that in this fucking series, don't they?
You know, it wipes everything out, and it's the second Strode, I don't know, quadrilogy, I guess, if you want to call it that, because there's Halloween, and then there's this Halloween 2018, and then Halloween Kills, and then Halloween Ends, right?
Right, because they had to restart it again because they killed her in the last fucking series.
I don't know why the fuck this had to be a trilogy. It could have just been one movie, but money or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
here's the thing, though. I really like where they're going with this Halloween Kills.
I'm kind of whatever about it. I mean, I'm gonna go see it, but
I am into it too, Connor, but I at the same time 100% agree with Joe because just the way there's little things about that movie I don't like. Some of the stuff with the Loomis fucking successor is stupid to me, but
yeah,
the rest of it I thought was really good. The ending just makes me think of Frankenstein with the fucking house caving in on him. I like that a lot.
It's fine. I don't hate it by any stretch. I think it's a fine Halloween movie, to tell you the truth.
I love the idea of Laurie Strode being so traumatized and that knowing that Michael's still alive, that she's like, no, yeah, like that guy is pissed, and since you're keeping him alive in a box somewhere, like one day he's gonna get out, and I'm gonna be ready for his ass this time.
Yeah.
Well, that was what was so great about it, right? Like if you're gonna do a sequel and you're gonna do if we're gonna bring it back, because that's like that's the thing that we're doing now. If you're gonna bring it back and you're gonna ignore everything else and go right to that first movie again, I think they did it in a really good way. What is it? David Gordon Green, and yeah, I think they did a really good job for what it was. But again, like, planning out a trilogy is just a little...
Yeah. It takes away a lot of the tension.
It's putting the cart before the horse, and like it really takes the tension out of it for me, because it's like, okay, well, Halloween Kills, it's going to be an hour and 45 minutes of Michael Myers killing people, and I'm like, okay, cool.
But now I'll say what I was saying about Halloween 4. Like, the idea of the town finally going like, nah, fuck this. Like, you've let him live long enough, and now he's back to kill more of our kids. Like, we're not letting this happen anymore.
No, sure.
Which is like, I loved, like, it's the Freddy Krueger thing where a bunch of parents got together at night and said, like, no, we're gonna fucking kill his ass.
We all know how that turned out.
But it being a public event, like him murdering an entire brigade of firefighters, like, in plain view of everybody, and then the cops being like, oh my god. And then, so finally, like, the people were like, no, enough. Like, this ends now.
Yeah, I think it's a cool idea, but it should have been done in the first movie, is what I'm saying. Like, if you're gonna do it in Halloween 2018 and just do it in one movie. You don't need fucking 3 movies to do that in, you know?
I don't disagree, but also, like, I think we inevitably have to accept, like, I'm sure when this was pitched, someone said, like, okay, well, like, there's no way we're letting you do a one-off with Halloween. Like, you're going to do a fucking franchise, and if we can... And I'm sure someone poked their head in, like, from a distance said, like, what about a cinematic universe? And then he was promptly murdered.
Well, he can't die. He can't die, right? So now for the fact of the matter, in the 2018 series, and if we're going by the first movie, he was shot, and he comes back, and he was in a fucking fire, and he comes back, and I'm sure he's going to get his fucking ass whooped in this next one. How are they going to end it? Like, is he just going to be pure evil? Are they ever going to explain it? Are they going to put a fucking stupid stamp on it? You know what I mean? Like,
I could see it going one of two ways, or maybe both of these things happen. And again, you may have seen it already by the time you listen, so this might be totally wrong again. I'm just making predictions. I think Judy Greer's going to probably eat it, because you got to have some of the main characters die in this one if there's going to be a third one.
I would hope so. You can't let everybody live.
Maybe they kill Jamie Lee Curtis, but I feel like she's probably contracted in for all 3.
Hell no. She's final battle for fucking Halloween Ends, dude. They're going to kill each other.
Yeah.
That, or it's the other way around, is that Laurie dies this time, and the finale is Judy Greer getting enough rage built up to beat the fuck out of Michael.
Maybe. But I agree with Joe.
Which I would like to see too, because I fucking love Judy Greer, so.
I'll take Jamie Lee Curtis if you're going to bring her back for this series. I like that idea better.
It's so extended.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That I'm like, well, how? I obviously I'm going to see it, and I'll have my opinion then, but I can't, like, shake the feeling of, like, how are you going to draw this out for another 2 movies where it's still fresh and interesting? You know what I mean?
I will be happy if Halloween Ends, like, if the final confrontation isn't something that is so, like, irrefutably non-resurrectable. Like, I want them to drop a fucking boulder on him and his limbs fly off in 4 different directions. Like,
I want her to put him in a fucking blender.
Like, yeah, someone sticks dynamite down his throat and you watch him explode. Like, something with some finality to it.
But then, like Fear Street, he just fucking comes back together.
He just...
Well, yeah, then he's gonna get... Yeah, Jennifer Tilly is gonna sew him back together and bring him back from the dead, yeah.
There's actually a black tumor in Haddonfield that's been pulsating.
He comes out of a tumor in the ground that's shaped like Donald Pleasance's head.
Yeah. In the center of Haddonfield.
Michael, kill for me, Michael, kill! Michael, oh my god, Michael, I can't shoot you anymore, so you might as well kill people for me.
6 pieces, Michael!
6 people every Halloween for 6 bullets.
Stab me 6 times!
So yeah, are we ready to get into The Curse of Michael Myers?
Speaking of 6s...
Yeah.
This fucking movie, oh my god.
Okay, so Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers.
Okay, now that we're here, I can say this. After my viewing of this movie, I was angry at Joe for about 5 minutes because I realized what he had done to me. I wanted to murder him for about 9 seconds after the movie ended because he sent me, and here's the thing, I didn't ask beforehand. I was like, send me this cut.
Yeah, well, it was purposeful.
You fucking it. He sent me the theatrical cut, which, by the way, has the most blood-boiling ending of anything we've ever watched.
Well, so I had to make sacrifices, just like Thorn. I had to make sacrifices, and I chose you and Sean to watch the theatrical cut, and I watched the producer's cut.
I fucking hate you so much.
Somebody had to suffer.
Oh.
I think I might have suffered the worst because I wanted to watch the movie with my wife, so I rented it for $4.
Oh, no, you paid for it?
Yeah, $4.25 after tax. I think I might have really blown it.
I also rented it on YouTube like a couple days ago, and I was gonna watch it, and I watched half of it, and then had to like go to bed or something. So at that point, I didn't even know what version it was on YouTube. I was like, whatever, what the fuck, it's 2 hours on the tube. And then you sent me the copy. I was like, all right, cool. Watched it, got through it. I was like, oh god, no.
Well, because it wasn't streaming for free anywhere, so I was trying to help you guys out.
Yeah, 4 and 5 actually are on Shudder if you're curious.
Yeah. I remember seeing the producer's cut somewhere.
It was bootlegged for a long time at conventions.
Yeah, and then like either through the internet, like I saw the ending, or at some point I think I found like a streaming version of it or something along those lines. But like I hadn't seen the theatrical cut since I was in my teens. And, like, even then, I was like, what the fuck was that? Like,
yeah, this is the one. So, The Curse of Michael Myers is the one when I was a kid. It comes out in 1995. So, when I was a kid, that was kind of the new Halloween out. And I got to tell you, the VHS is probably one of my favorite Halloween covers because it's like black and blue with this like neon orange on it.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing that.
It's a pretty amazing poster.
It's fucking cool, man. And like, but I remember renting that. Like, that was my Halloween when I was a kid. Like, besides the the first one or whatever, I never really watched 4 and 5 as a kid. Too much. I remember renting Curse a lot more. Put it that way. But I guess before we talk about this, we didn't really talk about Michael Myers as a horror icon. Then I just want to say that real quick. He's not even in my top 5, guys. Like,
no, he's kind of, I don't want to say he's vanilla, but he's very vanilla. Like, he's very...
Before watching these last 3 movies, he was in my top 5, and now he no longer is.
he never was. Like, Mikey was never, like, one of my top horror villains. Maybe from the first film, but, like there was always... I always went back and watched all the Fridays and all the Nightmares, but Halloween was one of those franchises where I was like, I could take it or leave it, I guess, until the season rolled around.
Yeah, and like, and it always puzzled me when people were like, I want to see Jason versus Freddy versus Michael Myers. I'm like, why? He would get bodied in the first 9 seconds.
Michael would get fridged by one or the other.
The only one that I feel like he could maybe go up against is maybe Leatherface.
Leatherface would kick his ass too.
Sure, but I could kind of see it.
Leatherface is a fucking bulldozer compared to Michael, because like I think Myers has no like, outside of him becoming freakishly strong, like he has no like fucking Leatherface is, like I said, is a giant fucking man with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
Who's out of his mind. And like even younger Jason before he's a zombie is like fast and terrifying.
Yeah, and a big hulking motherfucker. Now,
and Freddy's magic. End of story.
Yeah, so well, Freddy is magic, but is it Magic Michael or Magic Mike?
He is magic in this movie. He's got some Devin's ghost magic going on here.
Oh, dude, he's Magic Mike in this one. He sure is.
They just kept stealing from fucking Friday the 13th. They couldn't get their goddamn hands out of the cookie jar, guys.
No, and I guess that reflects my opinion too. That I'm just kind of like, Halloween sequels, whatever, kind of thing.
Yeah. No, I totally get it.
Michael Myers, whatever, he's fine.
Like, I have disdain for Hellraiser sequels. I have ambivalence for Halloween sequels. It's just like, I'm like, what the fuck ever? Like, I don't ever have to go back and revisit these. And like, visiting 4 and 5, like last week and 6 in the past like few days, it's like, yeah, like you're just reinforcing my feelings of like, why the fuck bother? Like, I don't, and
mediocre, dude.
That's what I'm saying. Like, when people have good things to say about these movies or 4 and 5, I'm like, what about them? They're so nothing.
I could see an argument for 4 and 5 in certain contexts, thinking about when they came out and shit like that, or just as a whole, if it's like something about it, talks to you. But 6, it's just like, going right into the like mask and the costume they got Michael Myers in. Like, this jumpsuit is fucking horrible.
Well, I think Michael looks out of the 4 or out of the 3 of the Thorn trilogy. I think he looks the best in this movie.
I would argue the mask, maybe I'll agree on that, but the fucking suit is just, I don't know. It's kind of a nitpicky thing, but it's like a weirder, like slightly lighter blue. It just doesn't look good in lighting, like when it's lit.
The thing with the mask is that I have a still from this movie that I took while showing the Phantom Zone guys this, and like I can't look in the same anymore because it looks like the fucking Mad TV dude. Like I can't. It's ruined.
Mad Magazine, yeah. We talk about this briefly on the My Spooky Gay Family episode of Halloween 4. Go check it out. But George P. Wilbur is in the mask in this one, and he's in the mask in 4. Now in 5 it's Don Shanks, and I prefer that Michael actor than George Wilbur in my opinion.
So remember, you ever see the audition tape for Freddy 2 before Robert Englund came back?
No.
Oh my God, it's a lumbering idiot with his arms out like Frankenstein, and he's so stiff and devoid of character. And like they were gonna go with that before Englund came back.
Oh no.
And like so in this movie and in 4, it's the same shit. He's a stiff, lumbering, immobile. There's no character to his movements. Everything he does is just plain.
He always walks after his prey, because again, it is a slasher movie, but at least like in 5, he's kind of hoofing it. In this, it's like, he's like, la-dee-dee, la-dee-da.
I guess. The thing is, like, nobody's going to beat Dick Warlock or even the original guys from the first movie. There's like 4 different people that play fucking Michael Myers in the first movie, but like Dick Warlock does an amazing job in Halloween 2. Why would you just bring Dick Warlock back? Like, why not?
He does a lot of this shit, especially towards the end of the movie, where he'll like walk out of like a hallway, like a dark hallway, and he'll like spin on his heels towards whoever he's going after.
I'm just moseying around the fucking institution. Whee!
That's what I'm saying. And then he will just like pick up weapons as he goes, like it's a fucking like video game. He's like, all right, I'm kind of sick of this butcher knife. What about this bone saw? Okay.
Yeah. So 4, 5, and 6 have the most troubled production out of all of these films because they just couldn't fucking crack the nut, dude, about Michael Myers. But notoriously, that's why we chose 6, because this one in particular is the most problematic of the bunch.
Yeah, this was the Superman 2, isn't it? Was there a director being fired, or was there just like no satisfaction with the cut?
No satisfaction. Too many cooks, too many people wanting to be in the fucking editing room, too many people making calls on set. It was too much shit. And they didn't, and like you said, Connor, that iron grip of having your fucking fingers in it, you know what I mean? And saying like things like, oh, well, he wouldn't do this, it would be this way, or this doesn't make sense. This isn't going to play right, or whatever. And in turn, that theatrical version of this fucking movie sucks big time. With that being said, the producer's cut, while it's not a great movie, it's a better movie. And I feel like if they just, whoever it was that couldn't shut their fucking mouths or keep their hand off of it, I think this might have been my favorite sequel, because I really like the ideas going on in this and how it kind of unfolds, especially in the producer's cut.
Why don't we ask Joss Whedon and Zack Snyder how this process goes? Because it's the same shit. Like, it's the same, like, the theatrical cut is, and I was like thinking about this, I'm like, this is fucking 2017 studio cut Justice League. This is like so bad and so truncated.
Yeah.
And so obviously abysmally cut to pieces and like slashed to ribbons.
Yeah. That's here you go. This is the Halloween version.
Yeah, it's this. And like, it's not even, and not saying the Snyder cut is like a isolated incident. Like, this happens all the time. Like, there's 2 versions of the Exorcist prequel. There's fucking
yeah, sure, yeah.
Superman 2. I'm sure there's more, but I can't.
Spider-Man 2.1.
Spider-Man 2.1. Yeah, like, there's a lot of shit out there.
It's nothing new, right? But specifically with the Halloween franchise I'm talking about, like, they just couldn't fucking get it right ever after 2 and 3, dude. Like,
it happens to fucking franchises because, like we said, when things blow up, people get involved that shouldn't be involved, and they're making decisions. Mustafa Akkad.
Oh my God, yes.
But I would even argue, going back to something Joe just said, like, I don't even think John Carpenter knew how to fucking crack that nut, because like 2 is fine. Like, I think it's pretty good, but even that movie, I'm just like,
Yeah, you could take it or leave it with 2 for me personally.
Yeah.
He didn't have a vested interest in continuing this, so like anything he puts out at that point was gonna have diminished returns.
And he tried to end it definitively at the end of 2.
Right.
So pre-production, this movie was called, or right before it came out, or there was a trailer for it, it was called Halloween 666, The Origin of Michael Myers. You ready for this? 6 times the terror, 6 times the fear, 6 times the thrills.
Fuck me.
You know,
I had to come back to it, dude, because
movies are a mistake.
This series relies on the 6 times motif, right?
A little too much.
Like the 6 times the terror.
Lenny, get your 6 times out of there.
Get your ass out of there 6 times!
So we should also mention that Ant-Man is in this movie.
This is why I brought up the Myers-verse. Paul Stephen Rudd, P.S.
Man, that fucking took me for a whirl when I saw that.
He's gonna name that baby Steven. It's a really good name, guys.
He made Clueless the same year as this film.
God, he looks fantastic now, doesn't he?
Yeah. He plays Tommy Doyle in this, and he's, I don't know what, a peeping Tom.
Remember Tommy Doyle from the first one, guys? Remember that little boy?
Man, I gotta say, like, this characterization is not great, and he could fit right in with the crew from Blair Witch 2. Like, he's just kind of...
Yeah.
He's just shitty, and then, like, until he's, I don't know, not.
Okay, so before we get into this, this is written by Danielle Farrands, or Farrands, however you say that. Now, this guy was a huge fan of the Halloween series, so I see why he was like, yeah, we'll bring back Tommy Doyle and, like, do it like this or whatever.
Did he have a lobotomy before he wrote the script?
Well, maybe, but, well, again, that's not necessarily Daniel's fault. It's the fucking producers and editors' fault. But Quentin Tarantino was attached at one point to direct this fucking movie.
Oh my God.
The sixth film by Quentin Tarantino?
And he was going to have Dr. Wynn and Michael Myers go on a fucking road trip together and kill people on, like, their stops. That ended up becoming Natural Born Killers.
Oh, okay.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, so that was made the year, what, 96? Yeah, I think so.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
No, kid, I shit you not.
And guess who's in Natural Born Killers? How you doing? Legend has it.
I'm Mickey Mallory. All right?
My father was a hired killer in Texas. True story. That's a real thing, by the way.
I'm fucking Mickey Knox, and I killed Rodney Dangerfield, and I'm also Carnage, and I'm also the bartender, okay?
What I'm saying is I'm actually God.
What I'm actually saying is Michael Myers fell down that well, and I resurrected him.
And here we are.
I am the Cult of Thorn. Do you understand?
Hey, Venom, hand me those colored pencils. I gotta draw something.
So yeah, it was lots of production problems, yada, 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 bad editing, all that kind of shit. John Carl Buechler is on effects on this, guys.
And they were very happy to have him back. I guess he wasn't there for 5, I was reading.
No, he did 4, and then he did 6.
Is that why this one is suddenly just shockingly more graphic than the previous 2?
Yeah, but again, it's that thing where it's like, oh, we need more blood and gore in this. And strangely enough, the producer's cut, all of that stuff is cut out, dude.
Well, like, here it's so, like, I'm like, yeah, that was really graphic, but, like, why?
Well... Exactly.
Because, you know, I'll keep this brief, but like 4, I'm still shocked Buechler did this. He must have been working on something else at the same time because Loomis has the worst face makeup in the world for that burn scar. But 5, I could see why maybe they, without Buechler, but the effects weren't really, putting asses in seats because they cut away from like almost every kill in 5. I think they showed 2 on screen.
Well, that too, yeah.
Even the ones they cut away from in this, like somebody, who's getting killed by a clothesline, for instance, like
that part was great.
Yeah.
That's like the amount of like splatter that happens afterwards is like, oh, you left nothing to the imagination because that's some grisly shit.
That's the way you do a cutaway, like, in my opinion, is, like, if you can't show it, at least give us something.
Yeah, we were talking about that one scene in Cloverfield where the chick has the parasite burst out of her. Like, you don't see anything clearly.
Oh, yeah, because there's, like, a screen in the way.
It's like a silhouette, yeah.
But you see a silhouette and a blood spatter, and you're like, that was fucking vile.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, it's just creative editing and filming, and, like, yeah, in this case, like, in that one case, it is good and it's done well, but, like, the rest of it is like, wow, you just showed me that whole thing.
So, this takes place 6 years.
God damn it! And this is like, I'm Dr.
6 years after the events of Halloween 5. Now, what's weird about that is when you watch the producer's cut, there's like alternate scenes of Loomis, and every time he speaks in the theatrical cut, he sounds like I'm Dr. Loomis.
Oh, hello, I'm very much retired, yes.
But then, like, in the producer's cut, he's talking like regular Loomis again, and he's totally fine.
What?
Which is weird, and it's like, well, that was a choice they made, Or maybe he was sick because he died during the production of this. Who knows? Exactly.
He is, of course, great in this, but they barely use him.
Did he die during this?
I think, yeah, he died because they were going to do reshoots, and they just, specifically at the end, we'll get to it, but he couldn't come back for the reshoots because he had passed away, and there's even spots where there's like a stand-in for him.
He couldn't come back.
Well, yeah, because he was dead.
He's like, I gotta get away from this movie somehow. Fuck it, I'll die.
Just what you said, like, he couldn't come back, and, like, naturally, I feel like you'd follow, like, because he was sick, like, he couldn't come back because he died.
Yeah, but at that time, there was no, like, CGI shit where they could just, like, stick him in there or whatever. Like, there was just, like, shots from behind and stuff.
You can't Grand Moff Tarkin him, no.
Yeah, you can't Grand Moff him, yeah.
Oh, God help me.
So 6 years after the events of Halloween 5, Jamie Lloyd now has grown up, and she is pregnant. She's with child. She has a child. It's taken by a mysterious organization. Michael Myers comes back to, I don't know what, kill Jamie and the baby to sever the bloodline of the Myers, and then Paul Rudd shows up as Tommy Doyle, and Loomis shows up as, Donald Pleasant shows up again as Loomis. And we have
another final confrontation.
Well, yeah, we do. But so the Tate, it's okay. It's convoluted, but it does make sense. Here's the thing. Jamie Lee Curtis is dead in 4 and 5, and her daughter is Jamie Lloyd, who gets adopted by a different family. So the main protagonist in this is Kara Strode, who is the adoptive sister of Jamie Lee Curtis's character.
Right.
In the universe, right? So
because they explain in the movie that the father is the brother of Jamie Lee Curtis's dad.
Adoptive dad.
Because he knew what the house was all about, but he couldn't sell it. But you didn't care. You didn't tell us, Dad. Biff! Fuck you, Biff!
Biff, yeah, he's fucking Biff.
This guy looks like Biff. We're gonna get to him in a minute, but goddamn.
He looks like a mixture between Clancy Brown and Biff, okay? Like
Biff Brown?
Oh, he looks like fucking Norris from The Thing and Biff. But before we get to that, the Strodes aren't directly related to Michael Myers, but they live in the Myers house. So the bloodline is still only Jamie Lloyd and her baby. The people that live in the Loomis house are considered family to Michael because whomever occupies that home, he considers somebody that he has to kill.
In the Myers house. You said the Loomis house. Now, I would love to see what Mr.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jeez, because I'm all fucked up.
Dr. Loomis does have a very nice house, though, I will say.
The Myers house. Yeah, the Myers house. Excuse me.
The Myers-Loomis residence.
Yes, the Myers. Well, it might as well be.
It's a summer home.
That was the Quentin Tarantino version.
With that out of the way, like all of the lineage kind of out of the way, it does make sense. It makes sense to me. Like, it's not like so convoluted where I'm like, oh, what are you kidding me? Like,
it's like Star Wars level of connecting dots, but you're right, Joe, where it's like, okay, it could have just been any family living in the Myers house and Michael would have fucking butchered him because he always goes back there in every movie.
Right.
But they have to add this weird, like Star Wars bullshit where Rey's a fucking Skywalker and all this horse shit that you don't need, but it's like, we have this extra element, they're the Strodes, whatever.
I think they kept the thread there because they wanted that, Biff to fucking be like, yeah, I knew the whole time, but fuck it, because I'm cheap or whatever.
Yes.
It's a lot of, like, it is, but it isn't, but it is.
Yeah.
I don't hate that aspect of it. I do like it. I'm just saying it's like, you're connecting one too many dots, but it doesn't really hurt the movie.
My thing is only with having to explain to someone, like, if someone was like, well, what's the background of this? And then you were to give someone the spiel that Joe just gave me, and it's not Joe's fault, but, like, it is a dizzying word soup of names.
It's like Metal Gear Solid.
Yes. Yeah.
And then he had the nano machines.
And then there's the Lolly Lule Low.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Michael Myers in this film has fucking nano machines in his body.
That's the big problem with these 3 sequels is that it's bloodline related.
Yeah, and they had to convolute this thing that was just about like we've said in the beginning. It was a very simple idea. It was the embodiment of evil comes home on, in a night where people are vulnerable, and that's it.
And guys, guess what? Laurie Strode is only Michael's sister in the fucking television cut of Halloween 2, so it's like, okay.
I know.
Yeah.
Which for some reason I think people, I don't know if this is just like a misconception or they're uninformed, but like just assume that was always in that initial cut, but like it's only from the TV version.
Well, because people watched it a lot and again, we're talking about an era where you couldn't just stream this on your fucking laptop or rent it in the video. I mean, it did come to video, but like it was expensive to like buy these movies. So you usually waited till they came on television and you watched them.
Yeah, and like because of TV slots and how that works, like they have to fill a certain amount of time. So like, and like there's ad breaks. So like in a lot of occasions, you'd see movies that have TV cuts. If you can, track down the TV cut of Scarface. You'll thank me for the rest of your life.
Where'd you get that scar? Eating pineapple?
But, okay, so we open this goddamn movie with, like, I gotta say, again, I haven't seen H2O Resurrection in a hot minute, but this has gotta be the worst version of the Halloween theme in the series, is it not?
Oh, it's like it's done like on a sitar or like an old dingy guitar. It's bad.
What's crazy to me is Alan Howarth, besides John Carpenter, he is the main composer for like all of these fucking movies.
It's like, what if Halloween was swampy?
Yeah, but like even 4, I was like, this Halloween theme sucks. And then like I watched the beginning of the theatrical cut because I had to compare it. It's like fart rock guitar and like this shitty like grungy Halloween theme. Now here's the thing: the big difference between this and the producer's cut is this intro. We have Paul Rudd doing like the VO,
right?
And they have Donald Pleasance doing it in the producer's cut. Like, why the fuck wouldn't you just make it Donald Pleasance the whole time?
Yeah, and Paul Rudd, again, this is his first movie. He's fine, but there's a few scenes, especially this VO is kind of rough. It's like, whoa.
Well, the character he's playing is like, you're a weird guy, so talk like you're a weird guy. So everything he says kind of has this inflection to it.
And he's like, oh, I'm from Chicago, Illinois. All right, I'll do a Chicago accent, kinda. So this is like one of the big defining factors to me is like you have Donald Pleasance with this voiceover. Why wouldn't you keep that intact? Like the feeling already from watching the producer's cut is just like this feels more Halloween than what they put out.
Let me ask you this: how much more or less of Loomis is in the producer's cut versus the theatrical cut?
There's a lot of Loomis in the producer's cut.
That is probably your answer. I feel like in the theatrical cut, if they were gonna look at things to get rid of, they're like, get rid of all this fucking old man shit with Donald Pleasance. Like, who the hell cares? Like,
because he's like in like what 4 scenes?
It needs to be there, dude.
If I'm thinking like a studio executive, like I have my head up my ass, like it's just like, hey, they would look at stuff that people who like these movies would see as integral to the universe. And they would look at this and go like, nah, we don't need it, whatever. Because their only objective at that point is move it along, get this under a certain amount of time. So,
and it reintroduces the original Halloween theme.
Yeah.
And there's never, like in the theatrical version, it's like, wow, screechy fart guitar, wow, Michael Myers.
Yeah, it's like, dun 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 dun.
I gotta say how much I fucking hate a 90s aesthetic on a Halloween movie. I can't fucking stand it.
And that's the problem with it. I'm like, this is shit. Like that, man, I gotta tell you something, that the soundtrack for the theatrical version is dog shit. And the one for the producer's cut makes it feel more like Halloween. And there you go.
The credits of this movie rolled along, and it's like wow, blah blah blah.
Buy the soundtrack now from your nearest Tower Records.
And speaking of the credits, when the goddamn title comes in after this cold opening, it like slams in like it's a fucking action movie.
Man, there is none of that. Oh, by the way, there's a ton of like MTV cuts in the theatrical version where it's like, oh yeah, MTV.
Oh yeah.
That is non-existent in the producer's cut. It takes its time. It does its thing. And it to better results.
Because, like, the opening of this film, essentially, is, Jamie, Michael's niece, escaping from the Cult of Thorn, and I guess Michael just is there because the way 5 ends.
It's just going for a stroll.
The 5 ends with the guy from the Cult of Thorn, which you don't know in that movie, is just the Man in Black or whatever, goes into the police station with a bomb, blows all the goddamn cells open, and oozes all the police officers to death, and then Jamie's like standing out there in her princess costume covered in blood, like, oh my god, Michael's free! And then it cuts to black. So then in the beginning of 6, they have like some bullshit like radio like thing where it's like Jamie Lloyd disappeared 6 years ago with her uncle, and then you see her give birth to this baby.
They actually show the whole scene where they get abducted from the fucking hospital in the producer's cut. Yeah, dude.
Really?
Yeah, they sure do.
God fucking damn it.
And there's even a flashback sequence to one of the previous Halloween movies, I forget. They show a decent amount of like what happened for key scenes in like 4 and 5 to kind of tie this all together.
You don't get dick in the theatrical cut.
No, dude.
No.
You get exposition and from a radio. Yeah, it's diegetic, like it's coming from the scene.
Here's my question about the producer's cut. Do you know whose baby that is? Like, besides Jamie, like, who's the father?
Well, I'm going to tell you that in a second. I wanted to get to her death real quick, and then I'll lay it down for you.
All right. Oh, her death is evil. Like, it's overkill for this great character.
I was going to have a joke. I was going to be like, hey, do you like Jamie? Do you like the character of Jamie?
Well, actually, okay, hold on, real quick. I said great character. I take that back. In a moment of weakness, I misspoke. She's a pretty good character.
Well, I think my problem is, like, you know her as a child.
Right.
The same problem I have with the John Connor thing in the latest Terminator movie. It's like, you know him as a child, and you know him as in his greatest moment ever, like, in a moment that will define his life, and then the next time you see him in that form as a child, he's getting his fucking face blown off.
Yeah.
Right. So in this, it's like, you see this girl who outwitted and outlived Michael Myers twice.
And then gave birth.
And then the next time you see her in just a, like, you know, in under an hour, she's getting impaled on a piece of machinery.
Now,
it's overkill.
Like, I fucking hate it. I really do.
Now, just walk the listeners through this. So I believe, did she hit the bus station before she gets killed?
Yes, because she has the baby and she hides it in, like, a cupboard.
Yeah, and also Michael, like we said, Michael just appears, and she's helped to escape by, like, a nurse.
Well, okay, real quick, there is an important thing that happens that I do want to bring up. She goes on the phone and she makes a phone call to this, like, disc jockey who's, like, a total piece of shit that appears later in the movie. And Loomis is meeting with the fucking Dr. Wynn, who you find out later is actually evil.
Gary Sims.
Yes.
That was supposed to be Howard Stern, by the way.
Oh my, that would have been great.
I don't know if it would have been great, but anyway.
Oh, fuck that.
The guy that plays him still plays a asshole type character perfectly, but...
It's like Jeff Foxworthy.
Yeah, but Loomis overhears her on the phone. She say, Dr. Loomis, if you can help me, he's after me. And the disc jockey thinks it's bullshit, but Loomis is like shook. He can't believe it.
Okay, so does Wynn come to visit Loomis in the theatrical cut in this scene?
Yeah. They're both sitting there while he has the radio playing, and they're kind of staring at each other.
So before we get too far ahead of past this part, first of all, I want Loomis's house, because Loomis is, like, retired in the fucking countryside in this beautiful...
That's what I'm saying, I know you flubbed earlier when you said Loomis house, but he has a really nice house.
Oh, it's fucking awesome.
It's the house of a spooky, terrified old man. It's great.
Yeah, and he's writing his memoir. He's writing his fucking Gale Weathers memoirs about the Halloween series.
Yup.
Halloween.
It's called 6 times, 6 years, 60 whatever, 6 everything, 6 bullets.
By Sam Loomis.
6 movies, 6 times, 6 ways to die. So, there's a point where Wynn comes in and he's like, "Oh, you're looking great. You look way better." And Loomis mentions the fact that, like, he had surgery done to his face because he was scaring kids and he didn't like that. So he had, like, cosmetic surgery done to, like, take the scars off of his face.
That is not the theatrical cut.
No, I know. I'm saying.
I am so upset that I'd never get to see, like, Donald Pleasance just look at some kid and sneer at him with his fucking telltale heart eyeball on his burnt face. Like, yeah.
That's kind of a weird thing to cut. Like, how long does that really take? 5 seconds to have that line?
It's like 2 seconds, dude. And it's like a whole thing of, like, he's come to terms with it. He's finally over Michael Myers. And there's quite a bit of dialogue, I think, that they chopped out of the theatrical version where he's like, I'm all good now. I'm retired. I'm fucking kicking it. Like, what do you want? And Wynn's like, I'm going to retire and I want you to take over Smith Grove Sanitarium or whatever. And he's like, no, I'd rather die for the 4th time.
Yeah, four's the lucky number.
I dare you to kill me.
And then he hears the fucking Barry Sims show, and Jamie calls in at the bus station.
I was convinced that Michael Myers was in the back of this pickup that she fucking steals, because when she's running out of this goddamn cult, Michael Myers is going after her, and some poor bastard, like some truckers out there, he's like, "Hey, yeah, you need some help," and she's like screaming, but I guess she has like plate glass fucking windows windows because the guy can't hear.
It is pouring outside.
And he's like, huh? What was that? What was that? And Michael Myers...
What are you doing to my car?
And then Michael Myers walks up and kills Rick Rude. He looks just fucking like him.
Dude, he rips his fucking head off. Okay, so this is a thing they establish, I think, in 4 or 5.
Yeah, it's 4.
Michael Myers is, like, incredibly strong.
Yeah, so he breaks this guy's neck and he rips his head off pretty much in the theatrical cut. In the producer's cut, he just snaps this dude's neck, like, viscerally. There's no gore.
At least he didn't pinch his nose and crush his skull, like I think in one of the movies, 4 or 5, he does that.
Yeah, in the theatrical cut, he twists his head all the way around. His, like, you can see his, like, bones pop out, and then I think, yeah, he, like...
like, rips it off.
And then he, like, rips it off. It's fucking absurd. And I think that's the first of 2 people he does it to. We skipped over the fact that he grabbed a nurse and impaled her. Okay. He kills a nurse by impaling her head in this, like, spike, but if you look at the wall, it is a plain cement wall that goes on for, like, what looks like miles. And then right next to her is one sole spike on the wall, and he just picks her up and he's like, okay, well, here it is.
Thump.
I love how he picks her up like she's like a child misbehaving and just like casually walks her over to this killer spot and just kills her.
Yeah, this...
Well, there's a...
He walks over to this QTE spot, like, press X.
Yeah, exactly.
Press X. You know, there's a reason why he's there. I'm going to get to it in a second, right after you guys talk about Jamie's death.
Oh, God.
Yes, okay, like I was saying, I thought that he was in the back of the pickup, but then you see he has, like, a van that he's following her in, and he knocks her off the road. Okay. She ends up in a farm. I don't know, maybe this is a callback to 5, because he does kill a few people in the farm. And then, like, I don't know, maybe she forgets Michael Myers is after her, but she's really just, like, walking around, not even really trying to run or anything. And then she steps, like, on a stick, and I guess that signals him to teleport over, because he's got teleportation powers in this movie, by the way.
The stick she steps on sounds like a fucking baseball bat being broken in half. It's like, Karaka!
And then, like, he takes her over to, like, I guess this is, like, a baler of some kind, and just, like, again, picks her up like a small child, like the nurse, and just fucking flings her into it and just impales her in the stomach. And then, like, she puts her hands up to, like, I don't know, hug him or something, and she...
I think isn't that something she does in the 4th and 5th one? Like, she kind of goes to embrace him?
Yeah, she reaches out to him.
Okay, yeah.
And he pushes her further onto this fucking thresher machine.
Yeah, and then he overkills her by turning it on and then just, like, obliterating her insides.
Yeah.
It's, like, in any slasher movie, it's like, hey, good kill, but because it's happening to fucking Jamie, I'm like, oh, fuck you. Like, I fucking hate this.
And the pisser is, Danielle Harris was originally... She really petitioned to get this role, and they just wouldn't give it to her.
I wouldn't have taken it, if knowing this was, what they were going to do.
Sure.
Well, here, Dig, you ready? Originally, this is how this goes down. She goes into the barn, she's stabbed, and left for dead.
Okay, here's my question, though, real quick. Is it in the shoulder blade? Because according to Halloween 5, that's an instant death.
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where they stab her. I think he stabs her in the back or some shit. Case in point is, Wynn and Loomis later go to the barn where they find her, and she's not dead. She survives for, like, most of this fucking movie, dude.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and they bring her into the hospital, and they take the knife out, and they sew her back up, and she's like healing up, like, in a hospital bed. And what happens is she has, like, dreams and flashbacks in the hospital bed, and it turns out that the Cult of Thorn made Michael Myers have sex with her, so that baby is his baby.
Oh my God. I don't remember that at all.
I mean, it's not actually funny, but it's funny because of how stupid it is.
I don't hate it because it's, like, ritualistic and stuff, and, like, it's ridiculous, but, like, it's...
The idea of Michael Myers fucks.
Michael Myers, 666, Halloween 6, Michael Myers fucks.
It's like hearing that Palpatine fucked. It's like, whoa.
Coming to the movie dumpster store near you, Michael Myers fucks t-shirts.
So, we don't really know exact. I mean, it's inferred, right? They don't show Mike fucking going at it with his mask and overalls down or anything.
God, did they stick him in the goddamn jerk-off machine like Steve Brule and Check It Out?
Maybe Wynn is, like, jerking him off in his leather gloves, and, like, he's like, okay, come into my hand.
Oh, no, he's got a turkey baster.
Yeah, he's got turkey baster, oh, no.
He's got a turkey baster, and he's like, I'm not a rapist, but...
But Turkey Baster.
But Turkey, here comes the worst character to ever have a sequel.
And the way she dies in the movie is like Wynn shoots her in the head. She's like, you fulfilled your destiny. Good night.
I mean, that's less mean-spirited, I guess.
By the way, Wynn, you find out much later in the movie, but I guess if, he shoots her in the head in the beginning, that he's bad and he's part...
No. This is like an hour and change into the movie.
Oh, okay.
That's what I said. She survives for most of the movie.
Wow, that's crazy. Because, he ends up being like one of the key people that has been part of this fucking cult the whole time. Surprise.
Which is kind of neat to me because it like all takes place under the Smiths Grove Sanitarium that's like abandoned now.
Especially like there's a scene later on, I don't know how this plays out in the other cut, but where like Loomis like basically calls this guy or he shows up. I forget the situation exactly, but it's when Myers is right, trying to kill them all, and he's like, "Oh, thank God, Dr. Wynn, you're here," and Wynn pulls a fucking pistol on him, and he's like, "You son of a bitch."
It's better than that. There's like a completely alternate scene how that happens in
the ending is radically different.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about when they're in the house later on.
But there's key scenes that are completely different in the producer's cut too. Like when Loomis goes to confront Wynn is like, yeah, Michael is pure evil, and I wanted to harness that evil, and like now it's your turn to take over for me. And you and I together can pass the lineage of Michael's evil onto the next person, onto the next kid, which is going to be Danny, we find out.
Oh, Danny, okay. Let's get to him.
Well, okay, so the whole thing about this one and why I like it is like they go into this Celtic pagan tradition about the Cult of Thorn and like these runes and shit, these ancient runes, and how Thorn was like this ancient symbol for I forget what it is, like death or something that takes place on Samhain and like is the embodiment thereof of Samhain. So that's why it happens on Halloween, and like why Michael keeps coming back all the time on Halloween is because they talk about constellations and shit, which is kind of fucking stupid, but it's kind of neat where it like lines up and there's this black magic element to it.
Yeah, the Thorn constellation.
I'm kind of into that. Like, I think that's a cool way, like, for Michael Myers to be explained as an unstoppable killing machine without being too ridiculous. I think that's kind of cool. But they go back to that, again, to that Celtic magic, which they do in 3 and everybody hates. You know what I mean? Or everybody hated. So I think it's kind of funny that they bring it back for that.
I just think it's just like, it's like Solo. I don't need a fucking origin story for this character.
Look, I don't need it either, but I'm kind of fine with it. I like the idea that Michael Myers is the embodiment of this evil, this ancient evil that that's had roots in like the Celtic mythology and deals directly with Samhain. You know what I mean?
I can respect it from an angle of like they're trying and it can work for other people, but for me, the second you start explaining it, like in 5 when Loomis keeps going, "Oh, he's full of this rage. He's just rage, and if he kills Jamie, he'll get rid of the rage. And where did you get that rage, Michael?" And he keeps going on and on and on about it. And then in 6, it's like, well, actually, it's just a cult and it's some kind of devil worship or something. We're not really going to go into it, but I guess this rune means like rage or something, and Paul Rudd has all the fucking information about it.
It's his power-up.
Yeah, right. That's why I prefer it rather than just like, oh, he's the devil. If you're gonna do it, I guess is my point.
Right. No, I guess that's what I'm saying is like, if you're gonna do it, I can respect like you enjoying it. Like I totally get that. But for me, I'm just like, kind of loses the mystique.
I don't need it either. And yeah, but dude, the mystique has been gone for the past fucking 3 sequels. You know what I mean? So like,
that is true.
If you're gonna do it, that's what I'm saying. Like, this should have been Halloween 4. You know?
Yeah, but they also they do this whole thing where basically what they did at the end of 4 and to some extent at 5, where it's like you kind of were talking about there, Joe, where there's a successor, and previously it was Jamie. Maybe it's gonna be the baby. No. It's Kara Strode's fucking son.
Well, yeah, because like we find out that the guy from Wynn's been talked to Michael when he was a kid, and that was why he killed his folks, and like he just happened to pick Michael Myers, and like that's what happened, and like most of the town is in on it, like the old lady and shit.
Yeah, the neighbor who's like, yeah, I was babysitting Michael Myers, and he said he's gonna kill his folks, and I thought nothing of it. And then you find out later she's one of the fucking cult members.
Yeah, and it's like, wait, what? By the way, Paul Rudd is like staying in, it's like a boarding house where Paul Rudd is staying. You think that's the same old lady from Fantastic Four?
This is her when she's older. She got into this cult at a late age.
Yeah, she was harboring Michael Myers.
And do you think she actually has a hearing problem, or she just plays that up as part of the cult?
Oh, she plays it off for sure.
Okay, yeah, because he keeps bringing that up throughout the movie, but there's this baby crying and shit, and then later when all the cult members come up, they're like shocked. How did they know anything? It's like, Paul Rudd, you had this fucking baby, which, by the way, you named after your actual real-life middle name, and like, yeah, I'm gonna call you Steven. That's a cool name.
Well, yeah, Paul Rudd finds the fucking baby because he like tracks it down to the bus station or where she was at.
Yeah, because he like rewinds the recording because he hears like some kind of noise in the background, and he realizes it's the bus station.
Yeah, gate 27 or some shit.
And he finds the baby, yeah. And instead of like giving it to Loomis, like he sees Loomis and he's like, yeah, I got this baby. And like he just doesn't explain it at all.
No.
And Loomis is like, oh my God, Jamie Lloyd was just murdered. He's back.
But they never, it never like, he never, like the baby comes into play so much later. And then Loomis is like, oh my God, the child, that's Jamie's baby. I know where the baby is. And he like leads Wynn like right to the fucking baby.
Yeah. And then the baby has like the fucking thorn symbol like on it in blood.
Yeah. And the whole thing is like, if Michael kills his entire bloodline, then his cycle is complete and the ritual can keep going. And basically, Wynn's thing is like he uses Michael to kill people because the world needs to be purged? ?
I guess
Doesn't really make any sense.
But also, like again, going back to 5, just real quick, it's like if he does that, also he won't be angry anymore.
Maybe the rage subsides. Well, yeah, he's fulfilled his whole purpose, and then he just dies or something.
Right. Yeah, he withers away.
Or I guess Thorn kills him.
So then we meet the Strode family. We've kind of already talked about them a little bit, but you have the dad who's like this hard-ass piece of shit, like, you know, old-school conservative that doesn't put up with any lip in the house. He's like slapping his daughter.
Yeah, this fucking Norris Biff fucking motherfucker. I don't like that. I hate this character.
But I feel like it's almost like they were trying too hard for you to hate this guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's an asshole to his wife. He's beating his kids. He's getting drunk at work. You know, his wife calls him at one point when she finds out that, because the whole thing is that, you know, he's, again, like I said a little bit earlier, he's the brother of Laurie Strode's father from the first one.
Yeah.
And he bought the house and fixed it up without telling his family that this was Michael Myers' house and all these murders took place there. And at one point, his wife finds out from Loomis. And she calls him to be like, did you know about this? And he's just like, shut up, like, I'm in charge. He's an asshole about it. And then she's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And he's like, you better not leave. He's like, if you even think about it. It's like, oh my God.
That's the thing with his character. Like, that's his character arc, where he's like harboring the secret and he like knew the whole time and kind of put his whole family in danger thereof because of that. But like, he's there for you to hate. So when Michaels kills him, you're like, yeah, fucking kill that guy or something.
Oh yeah, 100%. But then, as you know, every member of his fucking family eats it as the movie goes on, like starting with his wife when Michael does show up. Because of course, again, he goes home. He always fucking goes home.
Well, they explain that too. The reason he goes home is because his family's supposed to be there and he needs to kill them all to complete the ritual or whatever, because there's no fucking like directions to this ritual except the fact like, yeah, you're gonna kill your family who's, I guess, in this house.
Yeah.
You think Wynn was like, oh shit, I should have been more specific. Can I redo that again?
Yeah, exactly. But this first kill's pretty good, and Connor was talking about a little earlier where, well, not the first kill, but the first kill of this part of the film, I should say. I guess it's technically like the third or fourth kill. But, you know, it's off screen, but it's done effectively where the mother...
Yeah, the mom goes outside and it's like... Isn't there a clothesline sheets gag in the first or second movie too? That, yeah, it made me think of...
The first one.
Yeah.
And, you know, Michael's stalking her, and I guess, like, I was a little confused about this, but I guess, you know, she's got to die. She kind of, like, looks for an exit and can't find one. And then Michael cuts her, and you just see the blood splatter on the white sheet, and then...
Oh, he gets her with an axe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, he loves that axe. Doesn't she say something like, oh, God, Michael? Like, Doesn't she recognize?
Oh, she knows because Loomis told her, and her husband just doesn't want to hear it.
Yeah.
And then, later on in the movie, they have a jump scare where her body, jumps out of, a fucking, attic.
Man, okay. No one likes decorating their crime scenes more than Michael Myers.
Except Satan, man, maybe.
Him and Angela from fucking Sleepaway Camp 2 at the end there.
Like Jason's got a sense of humor, but Jason's whatever, I'll stuff you in a fucking tree or something like that, or to the back of a door. Michael Myers is will walk into a park and maybe string you up in a tree.
For shits, yeah.
Or he'll rig you in the attic so you fall down and scare somebody.
He kills Mom, and then he kind of just starts teleporting around at this point. There's one kill later on when, I guess I'll just mention it real quick, when he kills the radio DJ, where literally...
Yeah, that's what Connor was talking about.
Yeah.
He's at the fucking Myers house, killing Biff, which I do want to go into more. And then, the next scene, he's in the back of this guy's van, and it's why is he there at all?
He also, and like I said, with that guy's body, he stuffs into a tree while a giant festival is going on in the same park.
Yeah.
And some little girl in a throwback to 5 in the same princess dress is like, Mommy, it's raining blood.
It's almost time. The secret code is Into the Myers-verse. Send us a direct message on your favorite social media app for a chance to win this Trick or Trash giveaway. Again, the secret code is Into the Myers-verse. And remember, kids, the clock is ticking. Don't miss it.
So here's the thing with the producer's cut too. They have Barry Barry Sims on his cell phone looking for his van, and he ends up getting into the wrong van. He gets into Michael's van, the Sanitarium van, and then that's why Michael kills him.
You know what it is? I would take that. I would honestly take that.
That's hilarious.
And I thought that was pretty funny. And then the scene where the girl's it's raining bread, Mom. There's a whole scene where she's dancing and she's singing it.
Oh, I kind of would have liked that.
Mommy, it's raining red, Mommy. And it's creepy and kind of weird.
I'm probably not going to watch it this year, but maybe next year I'll check it out. But for anyone that wants to know, again, I joked about how I suffered the most because I actually rented this son of a bitch. They actually, I watched this on Vudu, and they do have the producer's cut on there if you want to watch it. I think it's the same cost as the regular one, but if you got options, I guess is what I'm saying.
So Biff fucking goes home, and Mom's already dead, and everybody, Tommy Doyle has everybody in the boarding house. He has Danny and the baby and Kara in the boarding house because he's oh, you'll be safe here. He won't come in here. He only goes home to his house, Michael Myers, so you'll be fine. So Biff goes home and goes into the fucking basement and finds a bloody sheets in the washing machine, and then Michael Myers okay. You guys are going to break this down for theatrical, but this is what happens in the producer's cut. Again, it's a lot less, the producer's cut's a lot less explicit because Biff is already in front of the fuse box, and Michael stabs him through the stomach and into the fuse box, and he electrocutes. And then it's that cool shot where it's a dolly out where there's flashing in the basement of the house, and then that's it.
I weirdly would prefer that.
In the theatrical version, he stabs Biff and fucking picks him up and walks around with him and then stabs him into the fucking power box.
He loves picking people up in this movie.
Yeah, and then Biff's shaking and fucking spitting fucking foaming saliva out of his mouth, and then his head explodes.
It's like chopping Ma all over again.
Yeah. And it's cool, but it's just okay.
To me, it seems crazy for a Halloween movie to be this fucking gory. It's so out of character.
That's the thing, I noticed in the producer's cut, it's much more tame and it feels more like a Halloween movie because it's not explicitly bloody. You know what I mean?
I feel like that is a direct reaction to whatever the test screener said. They were this guy was such an asshole and he went out like that. We need more. And they're we'll blow his head up.
Well, Friday the 13th, there's more kills and gore in Friday the 13th. We need to put that in Halloween, baby.
When did this movie come out?
95.
When was Blair Witch 2 was what, 99?
Well, Blair Witch was 98, and then, yeah.
Yeah, Blair Witch 2 was when we talked about where the producers were more gore in this movie about fucking, videotapes.
Yeah, whatever, here you go. That's what made Blair Witch scary, right?
Yeah, it was violence and gore and guts, and that's not... Halloween, it's when people say that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is like, oh, it's so graphic, it's like, no, it's fucking not. It's entirely it's all off screen. It's up to your imagination.
Right.
Right, and what they don't show you.
The horror is of what's in fucking front of you, which is this god-awful family.
But the first Halloween is like that, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the first Halloween is very much like, it's atmosphere, it's foreboding, it's first-person shots. It's like, there's a couple, there's violence.
Yeah.
And, like, PJ Souls is strangled to death while while she's exposed, which is, like, probably a sexual awakening for some people out there.
Well...
Yeah, baby.
But like it's all still it's all very subdued, and it's all very either off screen or it's minimalist. And then like this movie, the theatrical cut is like insane.
Yeah. But and I even said a little bit earlier in this episode that I don't hate the mask in this one because like the 1 in 5 really rubbed me the wrong way. But like there are scenes where they have a lot of like shots from this like boarding house where they're looking out at the Myers house like through a telescope
or camera rather.
Yeah, exactly. And from afar,
because Tommy Doyle's taking fucking naked pictures of Kara from across the street.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Michael to come back. And maybe I'll just get a bonus.
From afar though, like it looks like shit because it's like always like lightning going off and there's like a light from behind and it's like he's standing there like a goddamn action figure.
He looks like the Mad Magazine guy.
Oh, yeah, dude.
But we also have, like, a couple other kills where her brother and her brother's fucking girlfriend get taken out because they don't get the memo.
Oh, dude, she's getting off. They talk to Barry Sims, and Barry Sims like, we're gonna go broadcast from fucking the Myers house, baby! And then he gets killed. But then she's like, come on, let's go back to your house. And we're going to fuck in your house, and I'm going to tell you all about the history of this because it turns me on. And then we're going to fuck in your sister's bed that's in the same room where Michael killed his sister.
You're weird. Bye. Credits.
Yeah, he's like, okay, sure. And he kills them both. Mike fucking gets them good. I like this kill because Kara calls the house, and she's like, what are you doing in the house? Get the fuck out of the house. And she can see her through the camera lens, and Mike is like in the background, and she's like, get out. And then, he kills her while she's on the phone with her.
Was it just me, or did anyone else think the actress who plays Kara kind of sucks?
I think she's fine.
For whatever reason, whenever she was in peril, I was like, man, you're not impressing me right now. Because she would go like, oh, God! I'm like, you're kind of troll 2 in it right now.
Well, there's the thing with that, too, because I don't think anything like that is in the producer's cut that stuck out to me. But I watched the theatrical ending, and she does that shit, and I'm like, oh, my goodness, that is some terrible shit.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
That is some terrible shit.
And I can't remember what it was. There's some kind of reveal that happens. She goes, oh!
Oh, Danny's walking across the street.
Oh, yeah, that's why she runs back to the house.
Yeah. It's the funniest thing.
Oh, no, Danny, why'd you go in there? Like, okay, I guess you're going after a kid. Of course you're going to run in. But it's like, Michael Myers is in there. He just butchered your fucking brother's girlfriend.
But do you think that's like alternate takes? Like, come on, bigger, I need it bigger, scarier.
Yeah, like, it's like the story about Revenge of the Sith. Like, there's better takes, but George used the worst ones.
Yes, I think that's to her credit. It never jumped out at me in the producer's cut. I was like, she's bad. I thought she was fine.
So then she, like, goes in there, and she, gets a bunch of, bodies dropped on her, and then she runs out with Danny.
Mom fucking slaps her right in the dome. She, like, falls out of the skylight or some shit.
That's what I'm saying. Why does Michael Myers have such a fucking sense of comedy about him? Like,
well, she does trip Michael Myers down a flight of stairs, and then for some reason, Danny ends up like on the wrong side of the room. So she has to step over his body, and I'm sitting there like, she's gonna get grabbed. She's gonna get grabbed. She's gonna get grabbed.
Yeah, well, of course. But this scene's cool because it actually had some fucking tension to it, which I haven't seen in 4 or 5.
Yeah, it might be one of the better scenes for sure.
Like, if I'm being honest, like, this movie stayed at a constant meh, like, until maybe, like, this point. But, like, until, like, I don't know, just, like, outside of the gore, so far at this point, it's just a fucking Halloween movie. Like, it wasn't doing anything for me at this point.
Well, I see what you're saying, yeah.
So then they get away from Michael Myers, and they run back to the boarding house, and now, like, I don't know why Michael, he doesn't go after them or anything, but the Cult of Thorn people are there. So Kara, she tries to get away. She's like trapped in Paul Rudd's room, and she fucking tries to escape by jumping out this glass window.
Oh my god, this is the funniest shit in the whole movie. She fucking nosedives outside of a window.
Well, yeah, she fucking jumps right out, and it's like echoes the first movie when like Michael's on the lawn. But like
or part 5 or 4, whichever it was, that Loomis did the same damn thing.
Yeah, but Loomis jumps out the fucking window, and you never hear from him again or see him.
He dies off screen.
Dude, it's such a quick cut in 4. Michael throws him out the window in a fucking Ben Tramer mask, and that's it. Like, it was like a cut-in. Anyway. I'm kind of in it. Now, does this happen in the theatrical version? Like, everybody's in the room, and, like, you get introduced to Win. Like, it's like...
Oh, yeah.
Win's the bad guy, and, like, the old woman's in on it, and, like, everybody's in on it.
Honestly, like, the reveal of Win makes me chuckle because, like, when I thought of the Man in Black initially, I thought of this, like, much more grizzled-looking dude who, like, might have a scar and, like, maybe a fake eye. And then it's just Terrence Wynn, and he's just this normal-looking guy who's a psychiatrist. I'm like, man.
I gotta love, though, when, Kara jumps out that window and it kind of fades back, into the same shot and she's no longer there, and then Loomis and fucking,
Paul Rudd.
They're looking at it like it's like, they're like bad detectives. They're like, she was right here, I swear. Like,
yeah. They're like holding their necks where they got shot by the trank darts. Like, shit.
Yeah. They're like, I think they drugged us. And he's like, yeah, they did. Let's go get them.
And then Loomis is like, well, you go ahead. I'll be back in the last 2 minutes.
Okay, so this is where it's completely different for you guys than it was for me. Because Paul Rudd and Loomis go to the thing together.
What? I feel like I've done that a few times, by the way, this episode. I'm just constantly shocked the more you speak.
So they go to the sanitarium together to find Kara. Now, Kara, there's a whole scene where she's on the ritualistic slab, like in that, that white dress? You guys are probably wondering, like, why the fuck is she wearing that white dress?
Yeah.
Because she's in this, like, fucking May Queen getup with, like, this flower crown, and she's, like, tied down to this sacrificial monument. And it's like, it's like when Janos is gonna fucking give the baby to Vigo, because the baby's in like a sacrificial thing, and like Danny's there, and the Man in Black is there, and Michael is there, and they're like doing this ritual, to pass the fucking the evil on to Danny and kill the baby, and then Danny has to kill his mother to initiate the next cycle of Thorn, right? So Michael will die and Danny will take over the mantle.
Sure, whatever you say, Joe.
No, I'm just saying.
I know, it just sounds insane.
No, but this is the cohesion in the producer's cut that makes sense more than it makes sense in the theatrical version.
Big time so far.
Loomis and Paul Rudd are in the place together. Loomis goes to find Win and they split up, and Paul Rudd goes to find Kara. Now, in the producer's cut, he sees a cult member walking down this hallway, and he follows the cult member in there. Then he fucking dresses up in the cult member, like, costume and goes down there and stops it because he gets Win and, like, goes to, like, put a knife to his throat, and he gets Kara out of there and the baby and Danny out of there. And you find out, like, all the other cult members are there, and they're, it's the old lady and, like, people from town and his secretary and shit. They're all in on it. And they leave, and Loomis goes to find Win later, or maybe this happens before this, but there is the scene where Loomis finds Win, and it's a completely different scene because Win is in his ceremonial garb. Okay, yeah, this is right before this, because he's in his ceremonial garb, and he has that back and forth with Loomis where he's like, oh, well, you're going to take this over now, and he, like I said before, where, like, Loomis, Michael is pure evil, and it's been the Thorn that's been controlling him and putting that evil inside him, and Loomis was like, you fucked him up, like, you did this, you that poor kid, like, all this crazy things that we've been doing for the past 5 movies, it's been your fault. And they knock him out and they leave him on the floor, but Win says to his, like, henchman, he's like, oh, leave him on the floor because this is his office now, so he's gonna incur all of this shit after tonight, after this ritual's done.
Oh, Jesus.
Which is insanely different.
Yeah.
So now
that's an understatement.
They get back. Now Loomis wakes up. They get back together. So it's Paul Rudd, Dr. Loomis, Kara, the baby, and Danny, and they're all together getting chased by Michael Myers. And Paul Rudd is in a full fucking ceremonial garb, right? He's still in the fucking, like when they break into the witch's castle in Wizard of Oz, they got the fucking Winky uniform on, yeah.
Right.
So they go to run out, and he's able to stop, like, Michael's coming after them, and he's able to stop Michael Myers by casting runes, like, on the ground, and, like, using his blood to do, like, and cast, like, a good rune to, like, freeze Michael in place, so he stops coming after them, which I thought was kind of neat. And then Paul Rudd, Loomis, Kara, and the baby all escape out of the thing because Loomis shoots the lock, and they all come out, and they all go into the elevator, and they go upstairs. They all get in the van, and they're like, come on, Loomis, come with us. And he's like, no, I have to stop this now. He goes back into the sanitarium. Michael is now laying on the ground. Loomis goes over to Michael Myers, takes his mask off, and fucking Wynn is underneath the mask. And Michael is now dressed in the Man in Black garb, and he's like walking away as Loomis screams. And then it ends.
I don't know if that's better or worse because
I kind of like it better.
The ending we get, and I don't know how much you want to jump in on this, Connor, but
lay it on us. What is the theatrical, baby?
Paul Rudd gets there, and he doesn't have this garb on, which, by the way, I guess this has got to be like an inside joke on the fucking set or something, but they have like a joke where one of the cult members sees Wynn wearing the fucking robe still, and it's like, you could take that off now? And they're all wearing surgical outfits, which I still don't really understand at all.
They're like performing surgery or some shit.
On who?
I don't know.
They're dressed as henchmen, is what they're dressed as. Like, it's a surgical-themed henchman.
Yeah.
And then Michael, like, again, steps out of a hallway, heel turn, runs towards Paul Rudd, grabs his massive fucking, like, bone saw, and then, like, I guess just is like, you know what, I have no allegiances, and just butchers these fucking scientists, like, you know, the scene in Independence Day, more or less.
Yeah, with the fucking with the strobe light going off and fucking killing all these people. It's pretty cool.
And he's holding Brett Spiner the whole time.
Yeah.
Release me.
He's telling old man Duncan to die while he's getting choked out by Michael Myers. Maybe that's who they were working on. Maybe he still was in there being all ornery.
Oh, he could have been. Yeah, I ain't dead yet.
Talks from the dark side. Check it out.
Yeah.
And then basically, Paul Rudd, runs out with Kara and the baby, and they have this big chase with Michael Myers where he kills another guy by literally pushing him through one of these fucking, like, prison gates.
Dude, there's a cut scene that's not in either cut where he pushes this guy's head and his fucking face comes out the other side in burgers.
Like string cheese.
That's fucking rad.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Like the bread slicer from Fear Street.
Yeah.
They somehow end up in this sci-fi original ass set.
Wait. I'm gonna stop you right there real quick because remember how I said that she was on like some ceremonial slab?
Yeah.
Paul Rudd literally rescues Kara from just like a locked room somewhere.
Oh, well, right.
Like on the set of Nightmare on Elm Street.
And yeah, he does do that. And then they're on this weird like Jason X set.
Yeah, they're in like a fucking sci-fi boiler room.
He grabs like some horse tranquilizer, some shit, like some fucking TRGI or some shit, and just stabs Michael Myers in the neck with it, and it does nothing.
It's like the fucking scene in Freddy vs. Jason where Freddy's like in that dude and like stabs Jason with the tranquilizers.
Yes.
Well, that was different because like they made it a point to say we'll sedate him.
Yeah.
Or something like this. Like he just grabs like what looks like 6 syringes full of formaldehyde and just jacks him up with it.
Dude, he gives him the reagent, man. Overdose.
Yeah.
And this is my thing, and again, I understand why this doesn't happen. The franchise dies if this happens. The movie ends if this happens. Again, like Halloween 5, why didn't that fucking cop just grab the shotgun and blow his brains out while he's coming through the door? Why doesn't, once he does collapse, because he is tranked by Paul Rudd after hitting him with like 4 or 5 of these and beating the shit out of him with a pipe.
This is one of the most up until the very ending, like, it is satisfying to watch anybody in this franchise just beat Michael with a pipe.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I do agree.
It is really, it's like watching them beat on Pennywise. It's like, this is just proper bullying. I love it. Like,
but to put a pin on what I'm saying is, I understand from a financial standpoint why this doesn't happen, but from the movie standpoint, Paul Rudd should take that fucking bone saw out of Michael's hands and cut his motherfucking head off and just call it a day. Instead, he just leaves him for dead and runs out, and then Loomis is conveniently there, and he's like, I have some unfinished business inside, and then he goes in, and the last shot of the fucking movie is Michael Myers' mask on the ground in that fucking Resident Evil ass set, the sci-fi original set, and just the scream from Loomis from the end of the producer's cut inserted.
No! It sucks.
Get fucked.
Now, you missed a crucial thing that I just want to bring up because there's some fucking Anthony Juniors on the wall, dude. There's like fetuses in tubes.
Yes, there are. from the kindred.
with like runes and like poppycock, like alien poppycock.
Kara makes it a point to. Kara looks at one of them.
Yeah. And she's like, what, they're growing more Michael Myerses in here. So they took out the Thorn element, like the whole cult element, per se, like the magic element, and they replaced it with science poppycock that they're growing Michael Myers children.
I also want to say, like, during the beatdown on Michael Myers, like, there's these weird jump cuts of, like, I guess, like, maybe different takes of Myers being beaten with his pipe and, like green goo and gore flying out of his face.
Yeah, he looks like he fucking Toulon's getting his ass kicked.
Yeah, but then they cut back and like that's not happening for some reason. It's like inside Paul Rudd's head or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, or whatever, man.
Or whatever, and then it just like and he's just normal, like nothing on the ground. Like it would be so much more viscerally satisfying if Paul Rudd caved his fucking head in.
Yeah, well, you can't have that.
In a series that is kind of known for its twist endings, this is like a fucking kick in the balls.
That's it. Good night. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, this is why they made H2O.
And say what you will about that film, and I don't really want to go into that at this point into the episode,
no.
But like at least it was like, I was about to say something, but then I remembered that the end of that movie, they also kill Michael Myers, and then he comes back in the next one, so never mind, I'm abandoning that whole point.
Well, they cut his head off, yeah.
I get that Donald Pleasance passed away. But then at that point, just make the fight with Paul Rudd more definitive.
Paul Rudd basically breaks the spell of Michael Myers, so now Michael is like kind of like a free agent, and he breaks the curse breaks the power between him and Wynn, and he fucking kicks Wynn's ass and like dresses him as Michael Myers, and then Michael Myers fucking just walks off into the smoky sunset, I guess, like with no mask on.
And then a portal opens, and John Hurt puts a hand out and says, "Come aboard, young man."
On your left.
Get in, motherfucker. We're going to Hollywood.
We're going to La Paz. Daniel Baldwin and the dumpster goblin are waiting for us with mimosas.
Corpse fuckers there. We're going to have a pisser.
And then it just ends. And I'm going to just assume that Connor had a very similar reaction, but I was filled with rage. I was filled with the rage that Michael Myers had in these last several films.
I was beside myself with frustration because, like, we've watched movies with bad endings, we've watched movies with no endings, but, like, I've never watched a movie on this show that made me feel so, like, just so tangibly insulted. Because it doesn't bother to give you any closure. It doesn't give you anything really at all. It says, that's it, get the fuck out of here, credits.
Yeah. So, what treat is this in our treat bags, fellas?
Oh man, I fucking used pennies already.
It's a new season, Connor. You can pick those pennies off the floor and reuse them.
It's a new season. You can go back to the well.
Oh my god. Okay, this is this year's pennies. Like but it's not like pennies. It's penny. Like it's the one you get the entire evening.
Oh no.
Like you hit one house, they give you a penny. Or it's like getting to a house and there's a bowl that says happy Halloween, please take one, and the bowl was like upside down and empty and the lights are off. You're getting nothing from this particular endeavor. And like, you know what, I'm gonna go with that, because like at least pennies, like it's still like there's worth to it, but like this movie is so aggressively non-existent in rewarding you in any fucking way. It's the most hollow horror movie experience I've had in such a long time, and I thought I didn't like 4 and 5, but like holy shit, the theatrical cut of this fucking movie is just like I said, I had abyssal hatred for this movie and for Joe for about 9 seconds after finishing watching it.
You were the sacrifice to Thorn, dude.
I hated this movie, and it wasn't just like the movie. It's like it's nothing until it becomes something that's like it becomes a negative. Like it actively robs you of any kind of meaningful end to this like really bland journey and just dips the fuck out. Like what did you say about Terrified, where it's like the ending is like it does fuck off, but it fucks off in a fun way where it's like, wasn't that crazy? All right, get the fuck out of here. Like,
yeah, wasn't that crazy? All right, see ya.
All right, see ya. And this is like, wasn't that a thing? Hell of a storm, and just like closes the door in your face. Like, it's blood boiling. It's such a bad ending, and it makes the movie so fucking bad. I hate it so much. And I know I said I was being nicer, but fuck this movie.
Well, yeah. Well, okay. So again, I watched the producer's cut of this film. While the producer's cut isn't any kind of like amazing film, and there's still parts of it that don't make sense because there's just not enough there to make a completely cohesive film, right? But they reinstate enough things, and they have a more linear storyline, and the edit itself is just better. Like, there are some abhorrent fucking cuts in the theatrical version where I'm just like, I can't believe that passed anything. Like, it's like super quick, like they cut Paul Rudd out of the whole end sequence where it's just Loomis and Kara and the baby like leaving, and while Paul Rudd has like a fucking, I don't know, a final standoff with Myers because he goes back. But Jesus Christ, treat in my treat bag. It's something that I think is gonna taste like something else, but then I'm pleasantly surprised by it. But then I get to the center and it kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I like the producer's cut of Halloween 6 better than I like Halloween 4 and 5. And the reason for that, and people are probably groaning right now, they probably shut off the program, whatever, or they're like, Joe's a fucking idiot, doesn't know what he's talking about. Here's the thing.
I might agree with you, actually.
Here's the thing. It feels more like a Halloween, the producer's cut of 6 feels more like a Halloween movie and a more fully realized idea that actually has a point. And dare I say better storytelling or more interesting storytelling than 4 and 5, because 4 and 5 is just like, how do we do Jason but Michael Myers? And they don't really succeed in either way, right? They're like,
you push him down a well.
Yeah, well, yeah, Michael Myers fell down a well. Yeah,
fell down a well and became Jason Voorhees.
Right, and he became Jason Voorhees. But this one, I like the angle that they take with the magic, and they completely cut it out of the fucking theatrical version because somebody got cold feet about it. And like, if you're going to do this, we're on Halloween 6, folks. If you're going to do this poppycock bullshit, the way to do it was to go full on fucking Samhain Celtic magic with the runes and shit. It sounds dumb, but it actually works for me. And again, I don't think this is a great Halloween film. I think that this film, if it was done right, it should have been part 4. And like, you don't need 3 of these movies, right? Like, it could have just been Halloween 4, The Curse of Michael Myers, and then here's why he does what he does, or whatever. You know what I mean? But with that being said, you know, it's not my favorite Halloween sequel. And again, like, I'm just not a huge. I think it's a testament to the fact that, like, I don't really like the Halloween series in general. And again, like, Michael Myers is not even close to being one of my favorite slashers. So I think it's pretty. I think I'm thinking about it objectively in this sense of just like storytelling and like how, in comparison to like other franchises that just have done this better. And by this point, I think, because I think I'd rather watch this film than Freddy's Dead, but I would definitely rather watch Jason Lives than both of those, than this or Freddy's Dead, right?
Without a doubt.
Yeah, like 100%. But like, you know, again, producer's cut Halloween 6 is fine with a capital F.
Going off of that note, for me, this movie is kind of like Montezuma's Revenge. You know, when you take 4 or 5 and then you lead to 6, like, I really do not like the Cult of Thorn trilogy. Up front, I will say, if you haven't seen it, at least watch it once, like I just did for this review. And then if you like it, hey, I don't get it, but more power to you. But, like, this is just, like, you ate too much candy corn and it gave you the trots, and you're shitting out these fucking balls of candy corn that are somehow still intact. And, you know, they're going right in the dumpster. They're just fucking filling that thing full of just fresh, diarrhea. This was not one of the worst movies I've ever seen, but it is absolutely the worst Halloween movie I've ever seen. And again, I haven't seen H2O or Resurrection in a hot minute, but, you know, I'm going to watch it probably during this spooky season because I'm already 6 fucking films deep. I might as well just complete the series. And maybe in future episodes I'll come back to that and give you my 2 cents. Maybe not. We'll see.
H2O is better than 4, 5, and 6. Easy.
I'll let you know, but I'm going to...
Easily.
Just based on my recollection, I'm going to agree with that. And, you know, yeah, some people like candy corn, but you want to fish it out of my, anal cavity, go for it. Because that's kind of where this movie is. It's just...
what a phrase.
It's one disappointing scene after another. And again, you know, Joe put it perfectly. It's like, they're chasing that fucking Friday the 13th money hard, and it just kind of honestly, again, maybe I'm late to the fucking, pony show on this one, but like, this trilogy kind of ruined Michael Myers for me, and I don't know if that's a hot take. I know that, again, like Connor even said, there's people that we know, that even people that have been on this show that I'm sure will vehemently disagree, but like, goddamn, this was like...
You're allowed to.
No, yeah, sure, but this was a fucking struggle to get through, like, this trilogy, like, again... 4 and 5, there's things about those movies that I'll sit here and defend, and even, like, a couple of scenes in this movie
sure
are pretty good, but, like, again, you're fishing through shit to get to that candy corn, like, is it worth it? Not really. Watch it once, and then fucking move on, and that's...
And watch the producer's cut, for God's sake.
Yes. Oh my God, please do yourself a favor. Don't ever watch the theatrical cut unless you're feeling like you want to torture yourself. Fire up that producer's cut.
Watch a better film, honestly. I mean, watch Trick or Treat. Watch
Halloween.
Yeah.
Don't watch any of the fucking sequels. Just watch the John Carpenter classic.
Me and Joe are like, suffer a little. Sean's like, suffer none. Do something else.
Yeah. Go trick or treating. Do something different.
Again, for what it's worth, it's like a 2 out of 5 for me. I always invoke this fucking movie, and I'm sorry, guys, but it's no Pluto Nash, but goddamn does it come close.
That is a perspective-changing movie, and we need people to understand that, so it's going to come up a lot of times.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's in the dumpster. It's my excised candy corn. And, you don't want to eat that stuff.
Again, if there was not so many cooks fucking around with this movie, again, like, you could have, the culmination of this, like, again, if you took 4 and 5 and this movie and, like, wove it into a better story, I think it could have been a decent movie. And if you really wanted to fucking cash in on Friday the 13th, you should have just went for it.
Yeah.
And it seemed like they were going back and forth because they wanted to preserve the original feel of the original film, and it just doesn't get there for 4, 5, or 6. But I would say the producer's cut of 6 is more Halloween-like than 4, 5, or the theatrical version of 6.
Yeah, totally.
And we know you heard that code already, so message us on your favorite social media app with the secret code, and you'll be entered for our Trick or Trash giveaway this year. Now, this is going to work a little differently. We're going to have a big prize pack, and there's only going to be one. So you have to listen to each episode, get your votes in. Each time you submit one of the code words, it's an entry. So there's going to be 3 entries total that you can put into the pot, and each one will get you an entry into that pot, and then we will draw a winner. But yeah, we hope you're enjoying Trick or Trash so far. We got a lot of good stuff coming up.
We got a hell of a watch-along coming at the end of the month. I'm glad that we got to talk about the Halloween series in a real way, and I hope everybody enjoyed it. There's still so much to say about this movie, but, we don't want to sit here for 5 fucking hours.
Some of you are probably very mad, but it's okay. We love you.
But we still love you, and it's okay. You can like Halloween 4 and say that's one of the best sequels, and that's fine. We just happen to not agree.
I didn't want to be that specific, but...
No, it's fine. No, it's cool, because we're all friends here. It's fine.
You know who you are.
We're all friends here. Nobody's wrong. Everybody's right in their own special way, right?
All movies are bad, or all movies are good. It doesn't matter.
We're just having fun. So, and make sure to leave us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts, or Apple Podcasts specifically. That really helps us get out of the bottom of the dumpster into more eardrums.
Subscribe to us on YouTube. Check it out.
Yeah, go to that YouTube, subscribe to YouTube, and pretty soon we're going to have some more video stuff up there, like actual video content. And again, if your thing is to listen to podcasts on YouTube, we're on there. Go for it. You can hit up that Patreon for $2, $5, or $10 tiers. Again, we're going to have some good stuff for Trick or Trash on there. We're going to have this mini-sode and, of course, the watch-along. So sign up.
Get a little of that Stevel action.
Oh, that sweet Stevel, baby. Little fucking Night of the Living Urkel. Yeah.
A little Reese's Pumpkin on the side, let's say.
Oh, yeah, a little extra good treat for your bag. And yeah, don't forget, send us your drunk. Hey, you want to send us your spooky junk? Go for it. It's the month of October. Get your mail in for our October mailbag, baby.
Send us your old Halloween costumes, by all means.
Oh, yeah, or your old Halloween decorations. And hey, post pictures of you in your Halloween costumes from yesteryear, and tag us in it, and we'll share it. And send us your spooky junk to Movie Dumpster, P.O. Box 918, Bangor, PA, Bangor, Pennsylvania 18013.
And head over to that Movie Dumpster store if you don't want to make a monthly commitment. Get yourself a Trick or Trash shirt. We got them up there right now.
Oh, those Trick or Trash shirts will be up there. Go grab one. So that's it. That's Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers from 1995, directed by Joe Chappelle.
If you want some more good, bad, and god-awful movie goodness, head over to MovieDumpsterPodcast.com and follow us on all of your favorite social media and streaming platforms.
You can also head on over to our Patreon page and sign up for the $2, $5, or $10 tiers for monthly exclusive content, or drop by our merch store and grab yourself some non-committal swag.
Yeah, and for no money at all, you can leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts to support your favorite show. I'm Joe Lascola.
I'm Sean O'Rourke.
I'm Connor McGraw. Rest in peace, Donald Pleasance.
Thanks for visiting the dumpster.
Seance? Isn't that a little chancy? I mean, this is Halloween, the night when all the creepy things are supposed to stalk the earth.
It deals with demons, demon resurrection, and those forces which roam the forest and dark bowers of man's domain. The first few pages warn that these enduring creatures may lie dormant, but are never truly dead.
It's Halloween, gentlemen. Halloween, have you forgotten?
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
You know, it's Halloween. I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare.
Trick or treat.
Hey ghouls, I'm your resident spooky smartass Sam Baxter.
And I'm your resident spooky drag queen, Pissy Miles.
And I'm here with my brother.
Brother, how dare you?
So sorry, my heifer Pissy.
Much better.
Thank you.
We're here because we are the hosts of the spookiest podcast around,
My Spooky Gay Family.
We talk about horror movies,
scary ghost stories,
and we tell jokes about our spooky gay family. You can listen wherever you get your podcasts. It'll be a scream!